Chapter 800. Instant Kill Sword. Taking the lead, Yi Chunfeng locked onto the 9 Netherwolf that was fighting with the Bai family's patriarch, Bai Qingtian. His entire body instantly merged with the Emperor's sky sword, piercing through the sky and piercing towards the wolf. When the Emperor's sky sword pierced the 9 Netherwolf, 25 million jin of force and several great Tao wills erupted at the same time, breaking through the 9 Netherwolf's eerie light and piercing its neck. Whoa! The 9 Netherwolf's strong defense was broken by Yi Chunfeng's sword. A large amount of blood flowed out from the wound on its neck, causing the 9 Netherwolf to howl in pain. Ancient sword technique, Sky Rend. While the 9 Netherwolf was injured, Bai Qingtian immediately launched a fatal attack on it. The terrifying sword light tore through the space and ruthlessly slashed the 9 Netherwolf's huge body, sending it flying. Qingtian, don't panic. We're here. At this moment, Jiang Yixian appeared right behind Yi Chunfeng. His voice was like a drum that resounded through the 9 heavens. Jiang family's experts. Seeing Jiang Yixian and the others appear in time, Bai Qingtian and the others who were fighting fiercely were overjoyed. Their weakened aura also recovered to its peak at this moment. Kill the invaders and avenge our dead brothers. The Bai family's experts roared furiously. They were like mad lions, launching a fierce counterattack against the experts of the 3 major powers. The King of Massacre, Ling Yu, Jiang Yixian and the others also played a decisive role in this chaotic battle. They crazily reaped the lives of the experts of the 3 major powers, completely scattering their formation. There's a change of plans. Retreat. The combat strength of Yi Chunfeng and the Jiang family's experts was too terrifying. Feeling that the situation was completely out of control, Xiahou Longde made a prompt decision to retreat with the experts of the Xiahou family. Wrath of Divine Punishment. Many of House Xiahou's experts retreated at full speed. Yi Chunfeng stood in their way alone. Extreme Ancient Lightning, Dual Polarity Ancient Divine Water, and Death Blaze spewed out of his body, transforming into a tsunami of divine punishment that slammed into dozens of House Xiahou experts and slowed them down. In the next moment, the King of Slaughter appeared beside Yi Chunfeng. He controlled the ancient instant mirror to shoot out boundless instant mirror light, attacking the experts of House Xiahou who were resisting the divine wrath with all their might. Every time the instant mirror flashed, a member of House Xiahou would be gravely injured. When the wrath of divine retribution dissipated, apart from Xiahou Longde and a few others who managed to break out of the encirclement, the other experts from House Xiahou had all been gravely injured by the ancient instant mirror. They lay in pools of blood, howling in pain. While Yi Chunfeng and the King of Massacre were dealing heavy damage to House Xiahou's experts, Dark Azura Hall, Green Jade Palace, and the mysterious black-clothed experts began to break through the encirclement. Even the heavily injured 9 Netherwolf abandoned Bai Qingtian and Jiang Yixian and fled into the mountains, disappearing without a trace. Brother, what happened to you? Just as the enemies retreated and the Bai family's might was dispelled, Bai Ziqing and Bai Yu saw a tall young man who looked similar to them lying in a pool of blood. His breathing had become extremely weak. Their hearts tightened and they quickly ran over. Tienge! Bai Qingtian also appeared beside the young man at this moment. He quickly fed him 2 heaven-rank soul pills, stopping the blood from flowing out of his chest and healing him. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Bai Qingtian, who was on the verge of death, tried his best to squeeze out a smile and said weakly, Shuehe Lingyu, let's go help Senior Star King. After the crisis was resolved, Yi Chunfeng, Ling Yu, and the King of Massacre flew into the void to help Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng deal with Sin Tu and Xing Biue, suppressing these 2 great enemies. Damn, flying in the void. That little girl is a combat beast emperor expert. Seeing Ling Yu fly away in the void, many masters of the Bai family were shocked by her amazing strength. Some of them even cursed directly, which greatly damaged their confidence. Huang Quan, the situation is out of control. Let's break out and leave quickly. Xingbiue found that the attack on the Bai family had failed and the masters of the three forces had been completely defeated. She immediately sent a message to Sun Tu, who was defending himself with all his strength, to break out and leave quickly. She felt that if she stayed any longer, she and Sun Tu might die here. Okay. Although he was unwilling, Sun Tu also knew that the situation was hopeless. He decisively abandoned Bai Feng, who was fiercely attacking, and tried his best to break out and leave. But when he turned around, his pupils suddenly shrank into the most dangerous pinhole shape. He saw a terrifying sword ray, carrying with it a boundless destructive power, slashing towards him. The sky seemed to be completely torn apart by this sword, stirring up chaos in the firmament. Astral Shield, defend! Feeling the fearsomeness of this sudden attack, Gloom Butcher immediately controlled the Star Shield to defend, blocking Yi Qinfeng's sword attack that came at him at an extremely fast speed. God-shaking fist. The spirit fish stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and suddenly approached. The fist radiance, which was like the fist radiance of Doomsday, fiercely bombarded the Star Shield. The terrifying explosive power forcibly pushed back Sun Tu, who was heavily injured and obviously exhausted, by several meters. 7 Swords of Judgment, Annihilation. Yi Chunfeng did not give Sun Tu any chance to catch his breath. The Annihilation sword light slashed out, shattering the sky. From afar, this sword looked like a continuously extending spatial crack, destroying space. Smelling the aura of death from Yi Chunfeng's sword, the heavily injured Sun Tu clenched his teeth and continued to control the astral shield to defend. Boom! The Annihilation sword light slashed onto the astral shield and exploded with a shocking power, forcing Sun Tu to retreat. The blood in his body started to boil and his injuries worsened. Just as Sun Tu was desperately trying to break out, the King of Massacre appeared on his escape route. He controlled the ancient Mirror of Moment to attack fiercely, sealing off his escape route. Sun Tu was surrounded by Yi Chunfeng and the other two and was in danger. If not for the Astral Shield's strong defense, he would have been suppressed by Yi Chunfeng and the other two. At this moment, Xingbiue also used all her skills to escape. Little friend Yi, Miss Spiritual Fish, don't worry about Sun Tuesday. Let's work together to suppress Xingbiue. Her mind should be controlled by someone. When Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng were trying their best to stop Xingbiue, Kong Sungchen shouted at Yi Chunfeng and the Spiritual Fish. Okay. Hearing Kong Sungchen's shout, Yi Chunfeng and the Spiritual Fish immediately gave up on attacking Sun Tu and surrounded Xingbiue, suppressing her with all their might. Seeing that Xingbiue was in danger, the heavily injured Sun Tu clenched his teeth and did not help. Instead, he selfishly took the opportunity to escape. Suzaku Cauldron, suppress. When Xingbiue's attacks were being suppressed, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Suzaku Cauldron to descend from the sky and suppress Xingbiue, forcefully suppressing her from mid-air to the ground. Lotus Diagram, destroy it. With her body suppressed by the Suzaku Cauldron, Xingbiue, who seemed to have gone crazy, kept spitting blood essence into the Lotus Diagram, forcibly forming destructive lotuses. However, at this moment, the King of Massacre appeared and controlled the Gu Dao Treasure's ancient mirror of Xana to suppress the Lotus Diagram, shattering all the destructive lotuses formed by the Lotus Diagram. Sky Devil Rope. When Xingbiue's most lethal weapon, the Lotus Diagram, was suppressed, Yi Chunfeng immediately formed the Sky Devil Rope and bound Xingbiue's beautiful body. Bai Feng continuously struck out with the Yin-Yang Dao intent into Xingbiue's body, who was struggling violently, and finally suppressed her. After gathering everyone's strength to suppress Xingbiue, Kong Sungchen quickly took out a Lishue pill and stuffed it into Xingbiue's mouth to confuse her soul and consciousness. Soon, the Lishue pill exploded in Xingbiue's body. A strong bewitching power seeped into Xingbiue's injured soul, causing her consciousness to become more and more blurred. In the end, Xingbue fell into a deep coma and lost consciousness. Kong Sungchen brought her back to the Bai family's old mansion. Mobile users, please browse to Reading. Mobile reading site. This book's address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 801. Star King, it's all thanks to your timely arrival. Without your help, my Bai family wouldn't have been able to survive this calamity. I'm afraid that my family would have been annihilated. Bai Feng, whose body was riddled with wounds, but he was in good spirits, sat in the main hall of the Bai family. He looked at Kong Sungchen, who had saved the Bai family from this calamity. Mad devil, the person you should be thanking is not me, but little friend Yi and the others. If it wasn't for their life-risking help, my Jiang family wouldn't have been in a better state than your Bai family. Kong Sungchen shook his head and told Bai Feng everything that had happened to the Jiang family. He was the one who saved you. Bai Feng had already guessed that the Jiang family might have been attacked as well. After listening to Kong Sungchen's explanation, he found out that Yi Chunfeng was the true hero behind the scenes. He was the one who had saved the Jiang family, allowing Kong Sungchen to bring the Jiang family's experts to rescue them in time. Senior, you're too serious. This is what I owe the Bai family, so it's only right that I repay you, Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. This. Little friend Yi, may I know what relationship you have with my Bai family? Looking at Yi Chunfeng's unfamiliar face, Bai Feng couldn't think of any reason why the Bai family had done him a favor. Old ancestor, Chingfeng is the genius that I mentioned to you before. He's the genius that I met in Slaughter City, Bai Feng explained when she saw the puzzled look on Bai Feng's face. So it's him. Bai Feng's eyes widened. His pale face was filled with shock. He clearly remembered that when Bai Ziqing mentioned Yi Chunfeng, he was only at the mystic beast ancestor realm. However, in just 10 years, not only did he break through to the rank 1 combat beast emperor realm, he even had the strength to fight against a rank 5 combat beast emperor. This shocking transformation made Bai Feng feel that it was inconceivable. Who would have thought that a little bit of kindness would actually change the fate of my Bai family? Little friend Yi, I don't know what you need, but as long as my Bai family can do it, we will definitely satisfy you, Bai Feng promised emotionally. Senior, you're too polite. To you, it may seem like a small favor, but to me, it's a great favor. You've helped me a lot, Yi Chunfeng said, neither haughty nor humble. All right, enough with the pleasantries. Let's get down to business. We can thank Qingfeng after we've truly resolved this crisis, Kong Sungchen said. All right. Bai Feng was also a free and easy person, so he didn't dwell on the matter of gratitude. He said, Star King, I wonder if you've found the mastermind behind the plan to overturn the situation of my Xingluo continent? Got it. Kong Sungchen nodded. Is the mastermind behind the plan from Xingluo Heavenly City? Bai Feng raised his eyebrows slightly and asked. Xingluo Heavenly City is indeed involved, but the mastermind behind the plan isn't them. It's the true demon tribe that caused a bloodbath in the Xingluo continent more than 30,000 years ago. Kong Sungchen told Bai Feng and the others everything he knew. The true demon tribe, they're making a comeback. Although Bai Feng didn't experience the catastrophe more than 30,000 years ago, he had heard of how terrifying the true demon tribe was from the old man of the Bai family. If it wasn't for the catastrophe more than 30,000 years ago, the Xingluo continent would have been on par with a rank 9 divine kingdom. The true demon tribe's goal this time is to destroy Xingluo Heavenly City because we have the key to open the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. Kong Sungchen nodded and said, based on the current situation, the Sen Luo Temple and Jasper Palace keys should be in the hands of the true demon tribe. In addition to the 2 keys from Xingluo Heavenly City, they only need the 2 keys in our hands to open the Xingluo Imperial Tomb. The Xingluo Imperial Tomb, they want the Star King's inheritance. Bai Feng frowned and said in a low voice. It's not just the true demon tribe that wants the Star King's inheritance, the Xingluo Heavenly City should want it as well. After all, the Star King was an existence that killed a Sky Domain Grand Elder. His inheritance should be coveted by the Nirvana Realm old monsters. Kong Sungchen said. It seems like you and I need to be careful. Before they achieve their goal, they will not give up. Bai Feng said with a serious tone. Yes, but there is one person who might be able to help us, Kong Sungchen said. You mean Xing Biue? How experienced was Bai Feng? From Jiang Xingchen's words, she immediately guessed who he was referring to. Yes, it is Xing Biue. Kong Sungchen nodded and said, according to my observations, Xing Biue and Sin Tu's situation are different. Sin Tu really joined the True Demon tribe, or rather, the Sun Luo Temple was a hidden chess piece that the True Demon tribe left in the Xingluo continent. However, Xing Biue is different. Her soul should be controlled by someone. Xing Biue is a rank 5 combat beast emperor. If her soul was really controlled by someone, then the seal in her soul would not be small. Xing Wang, how confident are you in breaking the seal in her soul? Bai Feng asked. I should have a 20 to 30% chance. If you can help me, I might have a 50% chance, Kong Sungchen said after thinking for a while. Senior, why don't you let this junior try? As long as the seal in Senior Zheng's soul does not explode, this junior has an 80% chance of breaking the seal in Senior Zheng's soul. Yi Chunfeng suddenly said. Really? Bai Feng had not seen Yi Chunfeng's methods before, so he did not know how heaven-defying his methods were. However, Kong Sungchen knew about Yi Chunfeng's methods and revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. Qingfeng, I'll leave everything to you, Kong Sungchen said. Don't worry, senior. I'll do my best. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised, there's no time to lose. I'll go and break the seal in Senior Zheng's soul now. Okay. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng, accompanied by Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng, these two experts who could shake the entire Xingluo continent, arrived at the secret room where Xing Biue was imprisoned. Qingfeng, do you need us to do anything? Kong Sungchen stood outside the secret room and asked softly. No need. Seniors, you only need to guard outside the secret room. Don't let anyone disturb me. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said. After saying that, he slowly walked to the side of Xing Biue, who was lying quietly on a white jade bed. Her eyes were closed and she was in a deep coma. Has this Xing Biue really lived for thousands of years? Why is she still so young and beautiful? Looking at Xing Biue, whose eyebrows were like crescent moons and eyes like cold stars, Yi Chunfeng could not help but sigh in awe. Xing Biue's beauty was so alluring, especially her jade-like skin that was exposed through her torn dress. Her round and snow-white skin attracted Yi Chunfeng's eyes. He could not help but take a few more glances. But soon, Yi Chunfeng got rid of all distracting thoughts. He took out a long silver needle and carefully inserted it into Xing Biue's head, slowly touching the restriction hidden in her soul sea. After repeatedly sensing and testing, Yi Chunfeng felt that although the restriction in Xing Biue's soul sea was strong, it would not explode when touched. He was relieved. He put away the silver needle and placed his palm on the top of her head. With the help of the God-Eater brain, he carefully devoured the powerful soul imprint in Xing Biue's soul sea that contained demonic characteristics. The restriction that controlled Xing Biue's soul consciousness was very powerful and mysterious, but it was no threat to the God-Eater brain. As time passed, the soul imprint in Xing Biue's soul sea was slowly devoured by the God-Eater brain. Guarding outside the secret room, Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng waited anxiously for a while. Yi Chunfeng walked out of the secret room and said slowly, "Fortunately, I did not disappoint you. I have broken the soul imprint in Xing Biue's soul imprint. When she wakes up, she should be able to return to normal." What, so fast? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's words, Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng opened their eyes wide and looked at Yi Chunfeng as if they were looking at a monster. They lost their composure and exclaimed, "Mobile users, please browse to Mobile Reader's homepage, this book's address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support." Chapter 802. As the night deepened, the Bai family's old residence gradually regained its tranquility. After controlling the God-Eater brain to devour the soul restriction in Xing Bu's soul sea, Yi Chunfeng went to an elegant room that the Bai family had specially arranged for him to rest. Yi Chunfeng consumed a heaven-level soul elixir. Just as he entered a state of meditation and began to refine the powerful medicinal energy, a light knock on the door woke Yi Chunfeng up. "Ziqing? Why is she here so late?" Sensing Bai Ziqing's aura outside the room, Yi Chunfeng immediately opened the door and invited Bai Ziqing into the room. She was wearing a silky long dress that perfectly accentuated her exquisite curve. Her skin was as smooth as jade, but her face was extremely haggard and her eyes were red and swollen. "Ziqing, what's wrong?" Seeing Bai Ziqing's swollen eyes from crying, Yi Chunfeng asked with concern. "Chunfeng, I beg you to save my brother, he's dying." Bai Ziqing bit her lips tightly and suddenly knelt on the ground, begging with tears streaming down her face. "Ziqing, it's not difficult to save your brother's life. However, it's difficult to make him recover without leaving behind any hidden injuries. It might require a lot of precious items." Yi Chunfeng gently helped Bai Ziqing, who was kneeling on the ground and sobbing, up as he spoke softly. "Qingfeng, I know my request may be a little rude, but my brother is the future hope of my Bai family. If you can make him recover, my Bai family will pay any price. I will also repay you with everything I have." Bai Ziqing looked into Yi Chunfeng's eyes and said sweetly, "You will repay me?" Yi Chunfeng looked at Bai Ziqing's delicate and beautiful face and revealed a faint smile. "Yes, I can serve you as a slave and even give you everything I have, including myself." Bai Ziqing bit her red lips tightly and said firmly, "All right, don't tempt me anymore. I have no resistance to beautiful women." Yi Chunfeng gently scratched Bai Ziqing's small nose and said, "Let's go. Bring me to your brother. I will do my best to save him." "Thank you." Bai Ziqing, who was blushing and feeling a little sweet in her heart, nodded and immediately brought Yi Chunfeng to the room where Bai Ziqing was. In the room, besides Bai Yu, who had been guarding Bai Ziqing, the head of the Bai family, Bai Qingtian, was also there. At this moment, two white-haired elders were treating Bai Ziqing and saving Bai Ziqing's life. "Brother Yi, you're here." Bai Yu, who was guarding beside Bai Tiange, immediately stood up when she saw Yi Chunfeng walk in. "Ziqing, Bai Ziqing's injuries." Yi Chunfeng nodded at Bai Yu before looking at Bai Qingtian and asking softly, "Of course." Bai Qingtian already knew that Yi Chunfeng had treated Kong Sungchen and Jiang Yixian. He immediately asked the two doctors of the Bai family to move aside and let Yi Chunfeng treat Bai Ziqing's injuries. What a serious injury to his soul! When Yi Chunfeng checked Bai Ziqing's injuries with his inherited technique, he realized that the real threat to his life wasn't his physical injuries, but the injury to his soul. Bai Ziqing's soul was almost penetrated by the experts of the three major forces and was severely injured. "Qingfeng, do you have a way to save my brother?" Bai Ziqing looked at Yi Chunfeng's delicate side profile and asked nervously. "I'll try my best." Yi Chunfeng didn't expect Bai Ziqing's injuries to be more serious and troublesome than he had imagined. After thinking for a while, he took out the precious soul-nurturing wood. "Soul-nurturing wood. You have soul-nurturing wood." Looking at the soul-nurturing wood that contained a powerful soul in Yi Chunfeng's hand, Bai Qingtian immediately recognized the origin of the soul-nurturing wood. His eyes lit up with excitement. After breaking off a small section of the soul-nurturing wood, Yi Chunfeng spat out the black heavenly fire, and melted the soul-nurturing wood. He refined a large amount of pure soul energy, and fused it into Bai Qingtian's soul sea to repair his severely injured soul. The ability of the soul-nurturing wood to repair one's soul greatly exceeded Yi Chunfeng's expectations. After fusing with the refined soul-nurturing spiritual liquid, Bai Ziqing's shattered soul quickly healed. When Yi Chunfeng broke off a small section of the soul-nurturing wood and fused it into Bai Ziqing's soul sea after refining it, his shattered and cracked soul recovered bit by bit. Alright, Bai Ziqing's soul has basically been repaired. He should be able to recover after resting for a while. As for his physical injuries, these two seniors have almost healed them. Sensing that Bai Ziqing's soul was no longer in danger, Yi Chunfeng took back the precious soul-nurturing wood and said slowly, "Thank you, thank you." Bai Qingtian felt that Bai Ziqing's soul had really been repaired, and his complexion had improved a lot. He smiled gratefully and said, "Qingfeng, we will never forget your great kindness to our Bai family. To thank you, I'll lend you this jade slip for one night." As he spoke, Bai Qingtian took out a golden jade slip from his universe ring and handed it to Yi Chunfeng. "Ziqing, send Qingfeng back to his room to rest. Bring the jade slip back to me tomorrow morning," Bai Qingtian said softly as he looked at the beautiful Bai Ziqing with a faint smile. "Yes, father." Under Bai Qingtian's gaze, Bai Ziqing, whose cheeks were slightly red, nodded and left with Yi Chunfeng. "Father, you want elder sister and Yi Chunfeng to be together?" Bai Yu asked in a complicated tone as she looked at the two of them leaving. "Yes, Chunfeng's talent and strength are the best I've ever seen in my life. If he can marry into our Bai family, not only will it greatly increase the overall strength of our Bai family, but our Bai family will also make a qualitative leap in the near future and stand at the top of the Xingluo continent because of him." Bai Qingtian nodded and said, "But father, do you really think elder sister can make Yi Chunfeng willingly stay in our Bai family?" Bai Yu asked in return. "This depends on your elder sister's charm," Bai Qingtian said slowly. He did not have much hope in his heart. "Ziqing, did your father ask you to come with me because he's afraid that I'll run away with this jade slip?" After entering the room, Yi Chunfeng looked at Bai Ziqing, who had been following him silently, and asked softly with a smile. "No, since father lent this jade slip to you, he naturally believes in your character." Bai Ziqing shook her head and bit her rosy lips. She met Yi Chunfeng's eyes and said, "Father asks me to come with you because he wants me to offer my body." Looking at Bai Ziqing's tender and alluring face and hearing her bold words, Yi Chunfeng was stunned. "Qingfeng, you saved me, saved my brother, and saved my Bai family. Apart from my clean body, I really don't know how to repay you. If you want to, then take me. I'll give you my body. I won't regret it." Bai Ziqing's face was red as she spoke. Her beautiful eyes were as gentle as water, and after her bold words, her heart began to beat wildly as if it was about to jump out of her throat. "Ziqing, I feel that between us, we shouldn't establish such a transactional relationship. Moreover, my ambition is to pursue the supreme Tao. I won't let personal feelings affect my heart of cultivation." Although at this moment Bai Ziqing's tender and alluring face was extremely beautiful, so beautiful that it made one's heart palpitate, Yi Chunfeng still adhered to his heart and spoke tactfully. He was destined not to stay in the Xingluo continent for too long. If he really did have the most intimate relationship with Bai Ziqing, it would only cause her endless harm. "Qingfeng, I know I'm not worthy of you. I only want to repay you. Don't feel too burdened in your heart," Bai Ziqing said delicately. Her moving expression made one feel pity for her. "Enough, Ziqing, you don't have to tempt me anymore. If you really want to be together with me, you have to catch up to my cultivation speed first. I am unable to accept the fact that my beauty will leave me in the future." Yi Chunfeng looked at Bai Ziqing's charming face as he softly spoke. "Come, to help you break through to the Battle Beast Emperor realm, I'll give you this 10,000-year Tao Lotus and this pseudo-Tao core. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng took out the 10,000-year Tao Lotus and pseudo-Tao core and gave them to Bai Ziqing. He also gave her the heavenly treasure serpent spear that was almost useless to him. Okay, Ziqing, I'm going to start cultivating your Bai clan's sacred art. If you don't mind, you can consume the 10,000-year Tao Lotus and cultivate here. Thank you. Bai Ziqing held the 3 treasures that Yi Chunfeng gave her and nodded. She firmly said, I'll definitely do my best to catch up to your cultivation. I'll make you accept me and become your woman. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading. Next time you open the bookshelf, you'll see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 803. This jade slip is actually the Bai clan's secret art, the golden body scripture. Once executed, one's entire body would be as though they were cast from gold and their defense would increase by 50%. Yi Chunfeng quickly browsed through the jade slip and revealed a look of surprise. If he could comprehend the golden body scripture, his defense and combat strength would increase greatly, and he would be infinitely close to a mid-grade Tao artifact. Yi Chunfeng glanced at Bai Ziqing, who was sitting cross-legged on the praying mat and slowly consuming the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. He cleared his mind of all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to imprint the golden body scripture's cultivation incantation into his mind before starting to cultivate. In order to cultivate the golden body scripture, one must first have a strong physical body as the foundation. Yi Chunfeng had already cultivated his true spirit body to the first level, and his strong physical body had completely met the requirements of the golden body scripture. In addition to the God-Eater brain's powerful analysis and deduction ability, his cultivation of the golden body scripture was much faster. Soon, a layer of faint golden light covered the surface of his skin, and his entire person became valiant and divine. Yi Chunfeng was completely immersed in the process of cultivating the golden body scripture with the help of the God-Eater brain, but Bai Ziqing, who had consumed the 10,000-year Tao Lotus, was completely immersed in pain. Because she was only at the 3rd level of the Beast King realm, her physical body couldn't withstand the powerful Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. Her meridians and organs were all damaged at the same time, and large amounts of blood flowed out from her pores. However, in order to catch up to Yi Chunfeng's cultivation, Bai Ziqing gritted her teeth and bitterly endured. She circulated the Bai clan's secret art over and over again, refining the Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao Lotus. She refined the Tao intent, purified her body, and increased her strength. Even though Bai Ziqing's willpower was strong and her heart of the martial Tao was strong enough, the Tao insight contained within the 10,000-year Tao Lotus was too terrifying. Bai Ziqing endured inhumane pain and bitterly cultivated for over 2 hours before she gradually couldn't hold on any longer. Her meridians were filled with crisscrossing cracks, and the blood seeped out from her body, even seeped through her clothes. Her consciousness was slightly blurred. Just as Bai Ziqing was on the verge of collapse, a warm current suddenly flowed into her body, suppressing the surging energy in her body. At the next moment, Yi Chunfeng transmitted the cultivation chant of the 6 meridians divine constellation into Bai Ziqing's mind. Guard your mind and cultivate according to my instructions. Refine the energy of the Tao Lotus into your body. With Yi Chunfeng's help, Bai Ziqing tried her best to concentrate and started cultivating the 6 meridians divine shield. At daybreak, Bai Ziqing, who had fused with enough power and with the selfless help of Yi Chunfeng, cultivated the 6 meridian godly shield to the 3rd tier of the viscera refining stage. As for the Tao intent released by the 10,000-year Tao Lotus, Yi Chunfeng was also slowly suppressing it into Bai Ziqing's body. After fusing with the 10,000-year Tao Lotus, Bai Ziqing's comprehension of the Tao intent of Yin had risen to the third tier. Her cultivation foundation had become incomparably solid, and the bottleneck of her cultivation had loosened. She could break through to the fourth tier of the defiant Beast King realm at any time. Ziqing, you were a little reckless last night. This 10,000-year Tao Lotus is so old that even a fifth-tier defiant Beast King would find it difficult to suppress the Tao intent contained within it, let alone someone like you. Yi Chunfeng looked at Bai Ziqing, who was covered in blood and had a pitiful expression, and said softly, I knew you would save me at the crucial moment. Bai Ziqing revealed a charming smile and said craftily, Ai you. Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of a helpless smile and returned the golden body art's jade slip to Bai Ziqing. Ziqing, cultivate the 6 meridians divine shield I pass to you. If you can cultivate to the 6th tier of the marrow cleansing stage, your physical body will undergo a qualitative leap. At that time, cultivating your Bai clan's golden body arts will be twice the result with half the effort. Yi Chunfeng slowly said. Thank you. Bai Ziqing said sweetly. Alright Ziqing, you look a little scary right now. Hurry up and go wash up. Yi Chunfeng said jokingly. Just as Bai Ziqing was about to leave the room, she saw Bai Feng appear in the courtyard. Her face slightly reddened and she hurriedly bowed. Ancestor. Looking at the pretty and charming Bai Ziqing wearing bloodied clothes, Bai Feng casually asked, Ziqing, why are you bleeding so much? What did you and Qingfeng do in the room last night? Senior, don't misunderstand. We only cultivated last night and did nothing else. Yi Chunfeng rubbed his nose and bitterly smiled. You only cultivated? Bai Feng said with a bit of disappointment. Actually, you could have done something else. Yi Chunfeng, ancestor, I'll be leaving first. Bai Ziqing shyly glanced at Yi Chunfeng, then ran away as fast as she could. Senior, may I know why you're looking for me so early in the morning? Yi Chunfeng changed the topic as he looked at the unrestrained Bai Feng, who did not act like an old man. Qingfeng, I don't like to owe others favors. You saved me and my Bai clan, so I must repay this debt. Here, I'll give this to you. As he spoke, Bai Feng took out a blood-red crystal that was half an inch tall and looked like a crystal and handed it to Yi Chunfeng. Senior, this is, looking at the blood-red crystal, Yi Chunfeng felt that it was extraordinary and asked. I obtained this from an ancient ruin more than 2,000 years ago. It contains a powerful sword Tao intent. Bai Feng explained in detail. I was able to cultivate my sword Tao intent to the 7th heavenly layer because of this sword Tao crystal. Sword Tao crystal. Yi Chunfeng knew the value of the sword Tao crystal, and his eyes lit up. After more than 2,000 years of research, I feel that this isn't an ordinary sword Tao crystal. It contains a mysterious power, but my talent is limited. After so many years of research, I still haven't been able to unravel the true secret of this sword Tao crystal. And you're the most monstrous junior I've ever seen. Perhaps you can unravel the true secret of this sword Tao crystal. Bai Feng said with a smile. Thank you, senior. Then I won't stand on ceremony. Yi Chunfeng didn't continue to be polite and kept the precious sword Tao crystal. Oh right, Qingfeng, when the time is right, we'll prepare to head to the Jasper Palace in a few days to eliminate the mastermind behind the Jasper Palace and resolve the crisis. I wonder if you're interested in going with us? Bai Feng asked. All right, senior, just call me when the time comes. Yi Chunfeng agreed without hesitation. All right, Qingfeng, what do you think of Ziqing? I wish to betroth her to you? Bai Feng revealed a trace of an ambiguous smile as he asked. Senior, don't try to matchmake me. Yi Chunfeng said with a wry smile. I'm wholeheartedly pursuing the supreme great Tao. Before I set foot on the peak of the martial Tao, I won't let too many personal feelings affect my martial Tao heart. Sigh, forget it. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's resolute answer, Bai Feng sighed softly and said, Qingfeng, study this sword Tao crystal well. I'm leaving. With that, Bai Feng left with a look of regret. Sword Dao crystal, is there really a secret hidden in this crystal? Back in his room, Yi Chunfeng took out the blood-red Sword Dao crystal. After studying it for a while, he closed his eyes and controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate into the Sword Dao crystal. This is a hidden restriction. Under the repeated detection of the God-Eater brain's soul power, Yi Chunfeng could not only feel the powerful Sword Dao intent contained in the Sword Dao crystal, but also vaguely felt that there seemed to be a hidden restriction in the depths of the crystal. Perhaps there really is a big secret hidden in this Sword Dao crystal. However, this restriction is indeed a little strange. It's a little troublesome to crack it, Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. While controlling the God-Eater brain to imprint the Sword Dao intent, he increased the frequency and intensity of the God-Eater brain's soul power radiation to attack the hidden restriction in the Sword Dao crystal. When Yi Chunfeng unleashed the soul power of the quadruple evolved God-Eater brain to the limit, a slight crack appeared in the hidden restriction in the Sword Dao crystal, and a large amount of blood energy seeped out. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 804. What secrets are hidden in this Sword Dao crystal? Yi Chunfeng revealed a surprised expression when he saw the fine cracks in the Sword Dao crystal. After all, he had only used less than a day to crack the secret that Bai Feng had studied for more than 2,000 years. This made him feel like he was a god. If Bai Feng were to find out about this, she would most likely go crazy. However, Yi Chunfeng didn't rely on his own strength to peek at the Sword Dao crystal's secret. He relied on the heaven-defying God-Eater brain. Without the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng wouldn't have been able to crack the Sword Dao crystal's secret. The hidden restriction in the Sword Dao crystal cracked. Yi Chunfeng cleared all distracting thoughts and continued to control the God-Eater brain to imprint the Sword Dao intent. He cracked the hidden restriction and peeked at the Sword Dao crystal's true secret. Very quickly, 3 days passed. The God-Eater brain attacked at the highest frequency for 3 days and 3 nights. The hidden restriction in the Sword Dao crystal finally cracked. Yi Chunfeng sensed a mysterious soul power from the Sword Dao crystal that made one's soul tremble. In the next moment, a mysterious sword soul light that surpassed the speed of light shot out from the deepest part of the Sword Dao crystal. It attacked Yi Chunfeng's soul and tore a crack in his soul. If the God-Eater brain hadn't resisted the destruction of this mysterious sword soul light, Yi Chunfeng's soul would have been torn apart and his soul would have been pierced. What kind of power attacked me just now? Yi Chunfeng used the God-Eater brain's power to quickly repair the crack in his soul. However, he still had lingering fears about that terrifying sword soul light. After the first attack, the sword principal crystal released a powerful soul recovery power, instantly tearing apart the seal and shattering the hard sword principal crystal. Then, a finger-sized, lifelike blood sword appeared in the deepest part of the Sword Dao crystal. This is a sword soul. Discovering the soul blood sword in the Sword Dao crystal, the God-Eater brain immediately transmitted an important message to Yi Chunfeng. It was the sword soul that was rarely seen in the heaven domain. Normally, sword cultivators mainly cultivated Sword Dao intent. When a sword cultivator cultivated Sword Dao intent to an extremely high level, they would be able to combine their Sword Dao intents and cultivate an even more powerful Sword Dao diagram. However, among the millions of sword cultivators, there were also many exceptions. They would walk on another path of sword cultivation, and what they mainly cultivated was not the Sword Dao diagram, but the more profound and mysterious sword soul. In the heaven domain, out of hundreds of thousands of sword cultivators, it was very difficult to produce an expert who had cultivated a sword soul. In the lower realms, the experts who had cultivated a sword soul had long since disappeared. The reason was that the sword's soul inheritance had disappeared long ago. Even if one had the sword's soul inheritance, without 10,000 years of condensing, it was impossible to condense a sword's soul. But now, Yi Chunfeng had discovered a sword soul in the sword Dao crystal that Bai Feng had given him. This made him feel like he had been smashed into a daze. I must obtain this sword soul, Yi Chunfeng said with incomparable determination. If he could refine this sword soul into his spiritual sea, not only would he possess a heaven-defying trump card, but his striking power would also increase by several times. Boom! The sword Dao crystal couldn't withstand the might of the sword soul that had suddenly awakened and completely exploded. The sword soul that was only the length of a finger and completely blood-red in color appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng, as if it had a life of its own. 100 killing array, forbidden space. After the sword soul escaped, Yi Chunfeng immediately summoned 108 array flags and sealed the room to prevent the sword soul from escaping. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned his two most powerful trump cards, the Chaos Divine Wood and the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus. He was prepared to use all of his strength to suppress the restless sword soul that was shaking space. Puff, puff. Yi Chunfeng spat out a powerful amount of blood essence into the Chaos Divine Wood and the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus, stimulating the power of these two supreme treasures to suppress the sword soul that seemed to have a life of its own. Being suppressed by the Chaos Divine Wood and the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus, the sword soul immediately intertwined with endless sword lights. It fiercely attacked, not giving these two supreme treasures a chance to suppress it. Although the sword soul was terrifying, it had been sealed for countless years and there wasn't much strength left in it. But, the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus was a top-grade saint treasure and the Chaos Divine Wood was one of the most powerful divine woods in the universe. In addition to Yi Chunfeng spitting out blood essence and constantly injecting soul force into it, the sword soul's attacks were constantly shattered by the Chaos Divine Wood and the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus. As the sword soul's attacks were shattered again and again by the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus and the Chaos Divine Wood, it became even crazier. The blood-red sword blade was filled with a terrifying soul force that turned into tens of thousands of soul swords. It was like a tide of swords that swept towards the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus and the Chaos Divine Wood. If the room wasn't sealed by the 100 killing array, the intense attacks would have already caused the room to collapse. Nine Dragon Jade Annulus, break for me! After being swallowed by the endless tide of swords, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus to condense a terrifying dragon. It tumbled through the tide of swords, forcibly tearing a large gap in the tide of swords. Then, the Chaos Divine Wood rapidly swayed. Its lush five-colored canopy released rays of five-colored divine light that attacked the sword's soul. Under the dual attack of the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus and the Chaos Divine Wood, the sword soul's attacks were constantly shattered, causing space cracks to appear in the room. Suppress. Just as the sword spirit's attacks were broken through again and again, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to overdraw his body and controlled the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus to fiercely suppress the sword spirit. The terrifying dragon might cause the sword spirit to tremble violently, and cracks appeared on the surface of the sword. Then, the Chaos Divine Wood's five-colored roots wrapped around the sword soul that was being suppressed by the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus, increasing the strength of the suppression. Under the dual suppression of the Nine Dragon Jade Annulus and the Chaos Divine Wood, the sword soul's resistance became weaker and weaker until it finally calmed down. God-Eater Brain, devour the sword soul. After successfully suppressing the sword soul, Yi Chunfeng summoned the God-Eater Brain from the Soul Sea and started to devour the sword soul that was being suppressed by the two cardinal treasures. The sword soul might be terrifying, but it couldn't withstand the God-Eater Brain's devouring. Under the God-Eater Brain's frenzied devouring, the sword soul's consciousness was gradually disintegrated and was finally devoured by the God-Eater Brain. Withdraw. Yi Chunfeng's mind moved and withdrew the 3 cardinal treasures into his body. With the help of the God-Eater Brain's power, he fused the sword Tao pattern into the sword soul and started to refine it. Directly refining the sword soul was the most direct and fastest way to condense the sword soul. Days passed. Just as Yi Chunfeng was completely immersed in the process of refining the sword soul, Bai Feng appeared outside his room again and woke him up from his cultivation. Qingfeng, the time is right. Let's set off for the Jasper Palace. All right. Yi Chunfeng exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. After a few days of cultivation, he had fused all the sword Tao pattern that he had comprehended into the sword soul. However, the difficulty of condensing the sword soul was beyond his imagination. With the help of the God-Eater Brain, he had only refined 1,000th of the sword soul. However, when condensing the sword soul, he had cultivated his sword Tao to the 7th heavenly level. His attack power had increased by another level. Let's go to the Jasper Palace. After meeting up with Kong Sungchen, Xing Biue, and the others, the experts from the Jiang and Bai clans rode on the gigantic flying beasts and headed towards the Jasper Palace that was located at the peak of the Jasper Mountain. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 805. The Jasper Palace was one of the 5 transcendent forces of the Xingluo continent. It had existed for hundreds of thousands of years. It was located in the northeast of the Xingluo continent, at the peak of the Jasper Celestial Mountain. The Jasper Celestial Mountain was shrouded in celestial mist all year round. There were waterfalls and springs in the mountain, and spiritual creatures were everywhere. Once one entered the Jasper Celestial Mountain, they would feel like they were in a celestial realm. It was so beautiful that one would forget about home. We have finally arrived at the Jasper Celestial Mountain. I hope nothing big happens to the Jasper Palace. Otherwise, I will be condemned by the Jasper Palace for eternity. Dressed in an emerald green silk dress, standing atop a flying heavenly beast, her clothes fluttering in the wind. She looked young, but her actual age was at least 8,000 years old. She was cold and beautiful, a peerless beauty of her generation, Xing Biue said worriedly. Biue, do you still remember the person who suppressed you and forcefully imprinted a mark on your soul? How strong is he? Kong Sungchen asked. If I'm not mistaken, that person is a level 6 Beast Emperor expert. Xing Biue tried hard to recall and said. A level 6 Beast Emperor. Everyone gasped. Bai Qingtian said in shock. The True Demon Clan actually has such an expert. Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and Xing Biue were strong enough to fight against a level 6 Beast Emperor expert. However, they had not broken through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm. Therefore, Kong Sungchen felt pressured when he heard that there was a level 6 Beast Emperor expert in the True Demon Clan. Sigh, it's a blessing, not a curse. If it's a curse, we can't avoid it. Facing the threat of the True Demon Clan, we have no way out. Bai Feng sighed softly. That's right. Looking at the current situation, we can only take the initiative to attack and survive. Only then will we have a chance to survive. Blindly enduring will only hasten our demise. Kong Sungchen nodded and said. As the 3 of them were talking, the flying heavenly beasts flew into the lush Jasper Celestial Mountain one after another. As they flew, Yi Chunfeng's powerful heavenly soul suddenly sensed something amiss, and he quickly shouted out, There is danger ahead, everyone quickly stop your flying heavenly beasts. Qingfeng, what did you find in front? Although Kong Sungchen and the other 2 were much stronger than Yi Chunfeng, their souls were not as strong as Yi Chunfeng, who had gone through a lot of tempering and possessed the God-Eater Brain. If I'm not mistaken, there's a powerful offensive formation hidden in the mountain range in front of us. If we accidentally touch it, we'll immediately be attacked by it. Yi Chunfeng pointed at the nether dragon-like mountain range and slowly said, "There's a killing array in front?" Kong Sungchen and the others followed the direction Yi Chunfeng pointed at and released their powerful souls to sense the surroundings. However, they couldn't find anything out of the ordinary and revealed a trace of surprise. "My feeling can't be wrong." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng took out a low-grade heavenly artifact spear and threw it with all his might. When the spear pierced through the void and pierced into the nether dragon-like mountain range, a large number of hidden runes appeared and formed a terrifying force that attacked the heavenly artifact spear crazily. In just 3 breaths, the heavenly artifact spear was shattered by the terrifying attack force. "There's really a killing array." Looking at the shattered heavenly artifact spear, everyone couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. They had no doubt that if they accidentally touched the hidden array in the mountain range in front of them, it would cause a lot of casualties. "Qingfeng, I realize that you're really a monster. Your soul is actually stronger than the 3 of us." Bai Feng looked at Yi Chunfeng's cold face and said with admiration, "I had some fortuitous encounters in my early years, so my soul is slightly stronger than ordinary people." Yi Chen said softly, "If I'm not mistaken, there are many hidden arrays in this Jasper Celestial Mountain that seal the space. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, I suggest that everyone follow me on foot." "Alright." In the green jade Celestial Mountain where danger lurked everywhere, the group did not force themselves. They all leaped off their flying spirit beasts and followed Yi Chunfeng, who was walking at the very front. Like a wriggling spirit snake, they continued to advance between the gaps of the concealment formation. Under Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul, they didn't encounter any danger. They climbed quickly and soon approached the peak of the Jasper Celestial Mountain that was covered by thick clouds and mist. "Wait." Just when everyone was ready to charge to the peak of the Jasper Celestial Mountain, kill the true Demon Clan's experts, and conquer the Jasper Celestial Palace, Yi Chunfeng stopped them again. This time, Yi Chunfeng wasn't the only one who felt the danger ahead. Even Kong Sungchen and the other 2 also felt the danger. Their faces revealed a trace of seriousness. "What a brilliant method, what a terrifying formation! I feel that if a level 6 Beast Emperor were to barge into this formation by mistake, I'm afraid that even a level 6 Beast Emperor would be doomed." Yi Chunfeng used the power of the God-Eater brain to study the formation for a while. The expression on his face became even more serious. "Qingfeng, do you think that we can break the array by force if we work together?" Kong Sungchen's eyes shone brightly as he asked in a low voice. "The array in front of us isn't simple. Before we find the array core, I'm afraid that we can't break it by force. I want to go inside and deduce the array core." Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said, "Qingfeng, let me accompany you into the array and protect you while you deduce the array core." Xing Biue, who had a certain level of knowledge in arrays, said. After knowing that Yi Chunfeng was the one who broke the soul imprint in her mind, Xing Biue wanted to repay Yi Chunfeng's favor. "Don't worry, Senior. Although the array in front of us is powerful, it won't be easy to hurt me. However, before we enter the array, I would like to borrow some supreme-grade array flags. I wonder if anyone has any?" Yi Chunfeng asked. "I have," Xing Biue, Bai Qingtian and the others said. They took out their treasured supreme-grade array flags and lent them to Yi Chunfeng. "All right, I'm going." Yi Chunfeng kept more than 800 supreme-grade array flags into his universe mirror. He then used the Bai family's divine ability, Golden Body Secrets, to increase his defense by 50%. He then flew towards the array hidden under the peak of Jasper Mountain. It's only been a few days, and Qingfeng has already cultivated the Golden Body Secrets to the perfection stage. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, whose body seemed to be cast from gold, Bai Feng and the other experts of the Bai family widened their eyes and stared at him in a daze, as if they were looking at a monster. "Rumble!" The dazzling Yi Chunfeng flew into the great concealment formation, causing a huge commotion. Tens of thousands of array patterns appeared in the void and condensed into dense attacks. They attacked Yi Chunfeng crazily and engulfed him in an endless storm of attacks. Relying on his body that was close to a mid-grade Dao artifact, Yi Chunfeng forcefully withstood the overwhelming attacks of the formation patterns. He controlled the God-Eater brain to quickly deduce the actual situation of this concealment formation and find the location of the formation core. Star King, do you think Xingfeng will be okay? Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who was engulfed by layers of attack patterns, the peerless Xing Biue asked in a low voice. Although I haven't known Xingfeng for a long time, he is definitely not a reckless person. If he dares to take the risk, he must have something to rely on. We just have to wait patiently. Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's various heaven-defying means, Kong Sungchen was not worried about his safety and waited patiently. After half an hour, Yi Chunfeng could not find the location of the array core amidst the chaotic attack. His body that was comparable to a mid-grade Dao artifact was faintly unable to withstand the bombardment of the dense Dao patterns. 100 killing array. When Yi Chunfeng's physical body was at its limit, he summoned nearly 1,000 formation flags. They revolved around his body and formed the 100 killing formation, enveloping him. He used the formation to defend against the terrifying formation pattern attack. Rumble! The two arrays bombarded together, setting off endless waves. The terrifying energy was like rolling waves, causing a huge change in the space. Mobile users, please browse to M. Mobile users, please read this website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 806. Great Array. In the midst of such a ferocious array formation, Xingfeng actually had the time to lay down an array within an array formation to defend against the array formation. His attainments in array formations are actually so deep. Seeing the sudden appearance of the 100 killing array that enveloped Yi Chunfeng's body and defended against the tens of thousands of array formation attacks, Bai Feng, Kong Sungchen, and the others couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. They couldn't imagine just how Yi Chunfeng had been cultivating all these years. He was actually proficient in everything and had such high attainments in everything. The collision between two great arrays shook the heavens and earth. A terrifying strength shook the jasper immortal mountain, causing the earth to shake and the mountains to shake. As Yi Chunfeng was using the 100 killing array's protection to deduce the array core, 3 true demon clan masters appeared outside the Jasper Palace, staring at the violently shaking great array. Great Demon Envoy, Blood Demon Envoy, this intruder has an extremely high attainment in array formations. He actually thought of using an array within an array to break my triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array. Now that the Heavenly Fiend array's array base is clearly exhausted, if this continues, then my triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array will be broken by him sooner or later. An old man in a blood-red robe with a long white beard and a pair of gold-rimmed spectacles felt the changes in the triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array and revealed a dignified expression. Is there a way to increase the power of the triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array? The great demon envoy of the true demon clan had a tall and sturdy body with long dark green hair. His eyes flashed with an ominous light as he asked in a low voice. There is. The blood-red robed old man nodded and mercilessly said, Sacrifice the Jasper Palace disciples and use their flesh and blood to increase the power of the triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array. As long as the triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array's power is raised to its peak, then I can control the array to refine them to death. That's simple. The great demon envoy revealed a cruel smile and said, Great Master Blood, may I know how many people we need to sacrifice in order to raise the triple-cycle Heavenly Fiend array's power to its peak? At least 300. The blood-red robed old man said. 300 people is too little. Go and capture 400 Jasper Palace disciples. The great demon envoy coldly commanded. In just a short while, 400 disciples of the iridescent jade palace, who were covered in wounds and howling in fear, were brought over with their hands tied behind their back. They were thrown onto the cold ground. Don't leave a single one alive. Kill them all and throw their corpses into the tricycle heavenly killing formation, ordered the blood-robed elder. No, don't kill us. Hearing the blood-robed elder's order, the iridescent jade palace disciples fell into despair as they struggled with all their might. However, the elites of the true demon tribe showed no mercy. They kept chopping off their heads and harvesting their lives before throwing their corpses into the triple rotation heavenly demon formation. For a moment, cries and cries of despair interweaved together and reverberated through the green jade immortal mountain, causing people to tremble in fear. As for the triple revolution's heavenly fiendish formation, it had fused with the blood and chi of a large number of iridescent palace disciples. Its array might grew stronger and stronger as the offensive array patterns turned blood-red in color. They were like surging waves, crashing against the 100 kills array. What's that sound? Xingbue and the others, who were waiting for Yi Chunfeng to break the formation, heard the cries of pain coming from the Jasper Palace. Their expressions changed slightly. Bastards of the true demon tribe, I swear I'm not human if I don't kill all of you. Hearing the cries of pain and seeing the triple revolution's heavenly demon formation turn blood-red, Xingbue immediately guessed that the people of the true demon tribe were most likely slaughtering her iridescent palace disciples. She completely fell into a frenzy as a thick, murderous aura erupted from her body like an erupting volcano. Her body flashed slightly as she charged into the triple revolution's heavenly demon formation without any regard for her own safety. She wanted to help Yi Chunfeng break the formation by force and rush into the iridescent palace to save people. However, the triple revolution's heavenly demon formation had fused with the blood and chi of 400 iridescent palace disciples. Its might had reached an extremely terrifying level. The blood and chi in the formation was thick and viscous, binding Xingbue's body and corroding her body, weakening her attack. Just as Xingbue was holding the cold crow flag, shaking the space and tearing apart the viscous blood and chi, dozens of blood snake-like array patterns shot toward her. Cold Crow Sky Raid. Xingbue quickly shook the Cold Crow flag, forming a terrifying cold crow that crushed the dozens of array patterns. However, after the dozens of array patterns were destroyed, a large number of array patterns shot toward her. They were determined to kill Xingbue, who had barged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. When Xingbue was in danger, Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, Bai Qingtian, and Jiang Yixian also charged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. They appeared beside Xingbue and attacked together with her, shattering the offensive array patterns that were attacking them. 5 seniors, don't waste your energy. Come to my side quickly. Yi Chunfeng, who was controlling the God-Eater brain to deduce the location of the array core, sensed that Xingbue, Kong Sungchen, and the other 4 had charged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. He immediately sent them a voice transmission and guided them into the area covered by the 100-kill formation. Chingfeng, my Bu Palace disciple, is in danger. Can you speed up the speed of breaking the formation? Xingbue, whose eyes were bloodshot and heart was bleeding, tried her best to restrain the anger in her heart and urged anxiously. Senior, the power of this evil formation has suddenly increased, making it more difficult to break it. However, give me another 30 minutes. I should be able to find the location of the array core and break this big formation. Yi Chunfeng, who was also under great pressure, took a deep breath and said, 30 minutes? Xingbue gritted her teeth and was burning with anxiety. Great demon envoy, more people have entered the formation. Judging from the strength of those 5 people, they should be Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and Xingbue. The blood-robed elder, who was floating in the air with his legs crossed, suddenly opened his eyes and said, "Wonderful, they've finally entered the array." The great demon envoy revealed a cruel smile. He said, "Grand Master Blood, continue to increase the power of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation and refine them to death. If there isn't enough blood energy, then we can continue to kill them." The blood-robed elder nodded. He quickly formed a series of hand seals that fused into the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation, igniting the viscous blood energy within. The blood-red rune's power was raised to the limit as they attacked Yi Qianfeng's 100-killing array. Beneath the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's strongest attack, the 100-killing array's attack was abruptly stopped. The nearly 1,000 top-grade array flags that surrounded the 100-killing array began to crack apart. Feeling that the 100-killing array was about to be broken, Yi Qianfeng didn't panic. He eliminated all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. The array core is there. Just as the 500 top-grade array flags were shattered and the 100-killing array was bombarded by the blood-red runes, the God-Eater brain finally deduced the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. 5 seniors, I have found the array core. Let's break the array. Yi Qianfeng told the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core to Kong Sungchen and the others. Good. Kong Sungchen, Xingbue, and the others brought out their respective Dao treasures and prepared to launch a fatal blow. 100-killing array, 100-killing strike, Yi Qianfeng shouted. He manipulated the fragmented 100-killing array and formed 100-killing lights that attacked the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. The moment the 100-killing array attacked, Yi Qianfeng and the others controlled their Dao treasures and bombarded the array core. Boom, boom, boom. A series of earth-shattering explosions rang out. The joint attack launched by everyone annihilated everything and destroyed the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core in one fell swoop. With the array core broken, the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation, which was integrated with the qi and blood of 400 disciples of the Jasper Palace, was destroyed at any time. The towering Jasper Palace, which was floating with a thick blood aura, appeared in front of everyone. When Xingbue saw the disciples of the Jasper Palace, who had lost their qi and blood and turned into dried corpses, her eyes suddenly turned blood-red. She screamed uncontrollably and waved the cold crow flag to kill them. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 807. Not good, the triple circle heavenly demon formation has been broken. The blood-robed elder widened his eyes in disbelief. The triple circle heavenly demon formation that he had spent several months to set up was broken so quickly. The great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy's expressions changed slightly. Although they were powerful and had reached the realm of level 5 combat beast emperors, facing Kong Sungchen, the mad demon, and Xingbue head-on still made them feel a little unconfident. You bunch of trash, go to hell! Seeing the mountain of corpses of the Jasper Palace disciples, Xingbue's demonic nature was completely aroused. She was like a witch that had walked out from hell, her killing intent overflowing. Waving the cold black flag in her hand, she madly attacked the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy. Boom! 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 The battle between Xingbue and the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy caused huge shockwaves that even distorted the void. Facing Xingbue's furious attacks, the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy were both pushed back. They quickly took out their low-grade Dao artifacts to defend themselves. But at this moment, Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng appeared beside them and launched fierce attacks at them. In an instant they fell into a desperate situation. Their blood and chi were violently tumbling under the destructive attacks. Great Demon Envoy, Blood Demon Envoy, let's form the triple circle demon killing formation and block their attacks. The blood-robed elder was entangled by the King of Massacre and was also in a dangerous situation. He relied on his movement skill to dodge the attacks of the ancient instant mirror and quickly appeared beside the Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy who were retreating. He summoned a black formation plate and formed the terrifying triple circle demon killing formation with them. Triple circle killing formation. The Great Demon Envoy and the other two continuously poured their soul power into the black formation plate. With the help of the formation plate, they intertwined 3 killing formations and attacked Kong Sungchen and the other two. Heavenly Ancient Sword Disc Break. Bai Feng, whose body was shrouded in golden light, took a step forward. The Heavenly Ancient Sword Disc appeared on his body. Under his control, it quickly twisted like a sword dragon and attacked the triple circle killing formation. Sun Moon Star Palm. At the same time, Kong Sungchen also struck out with his palm. The palm that contained the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars directly broke through the triple killer light, breaking the attacks launched by the 3 of them. Die, all of you! Lotus Diagram, Lotus of Destruction. Xingbue continuously poured her soul force into the lotus flower diagram, controlling it to form 6 destructive lotuses that surrounded the Great Demon Envoy's trio. Boom boom boom. The 6 lotuses of destruction exploded at the same time. The terrifying power of destruction instantly engulfed the 3 of them, destroying their bodies. Triple Ultimate Demon Slaughter Formation, Defend. At the center of the destruction, the Great Demon Envoy and the other 2 immediately drew support from the mysteries of the 3 Despair Demon Killing Array to resist the destructive Lotus Flower attacks. Falling Star Hammer Break. Seizing the opportunity when the Great Demon Envoy and the other 2 were unable to move, the white-robed Kong Sungchen stepped into the air and poured a large amount of soul power into the Falling Star Hammer. He controlled the Falling Star Hammer to grow bigger and bigger until it was like a towering mountain, smashing down with great momentum. Triple Ultimate Demon Slaughter Formation, Blood Demon Appear. Facing Kong Sungchen's fatal attack, the Great Demon Envoy and the other 2's expressions changed. They all ignited their blood and chi, pouring it into the 3 Despair Demon Slaughter Formation. After swallowing a large amount of blood and chi released by the 3 Despair Demon Slaughter Formation's might was displayed to the extreme. A blood demon with monstrous blood and chi was condensed in the center of the formation. It roared towards the sky, as if it was standing in a sea of blood, causing space to tremble. It blocked the falling star hammer that was falling down from the sky. Boom! The falling star hammer ruthlessly smashed into the blood demon's terrifying body, erupting with an astonishing destructive power. However, such a fatal blow was unable to destroy the blood demon's body. It was forced back by the blood demon's roar that shook the mountains and rivers. What a strong defense! Kong Sungchen raised his eyebrows. The blood demon's defense formed by the 3 Despair Demon Slaughter Formation had greatly exceeded his expectations. The falling star hammer's fatal blow was unable to injure it. Relying on absolute strength to repel the falling star hammer, the blood demon once again let out a terrifying roar. It carried boundless killing intent as it attacked Kong Sungchen's trio, tangling with them. Just as Kong Sungchen's trio was fighting the blood demon together, several Bai family experts who had killed their way into the Jasper Palace suddenly let out painful howls. They were directly sent flying out of the Jasper Palace, falling onto the ground in a bloody mess. It was unknown whether they were dead or alive. Black and White Demon Envoy, Forest Butcher, Green Robe, 9 Netherwolf. Looking at the figures flying in the air and feeling their powerful strength, Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and the others revealed a trace of a dignified expression. The number of top-notch experts in the Jasper Palace was beyond their imagination. Mad Demon Bue, I'll leave the three of them to you. I'll go help. Kong Sungchen's expression was solemn. Black and White Demon Envoy and Forest Butcher were both level 5 Beast Emperors. If they couldn't resist their attacks, it would bring destruction to the Jiang and Bai family. Senior, Forest Butcher, leave Green Robe to the four of us. You guys deal with the others. The situation was critical. Yi Chenfeng targeted the level 5 Beast Emperor, Forest Butcher, who was known as Huang Quan, and Green Robe, who was covered in poison and had comprehended the poison Dao Will to the 7th layer. No, Forest Butcher is a level 5 Beast Emperor. It's too dangerous for the four of you to deal with two of them. Kong Sungchen said worriedly. Senior, don't worry. The four of us are enough to deal with two of them. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng summoned the sword puppet that he had never used before. On the way to the Jasper Palace, Yi Chenfeng had asked Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and Xing Buf for 5 low-grade heaven crystals and 300,000 high-grade soul crystals. After fusing with enough energy, the sword puppet's strength was restored to a level 5 Beast Emperor. The sword puppet was also Yi Chenfeng's biggest reliance to deal with Forest Butcher. What a strong aura! Qingfeng actually has such a terrifying doppelganger. Feeling that the sword puppet's aura was not weaker than his, Kong Sungchen was relieved. He controlled the falling star hammer to attack the Black and White Demon Envoy that posed the greatest threat. Blood River, you and the sword puppet deal with Forest Butcher. Ling Yu, third Uncle Fu, let's kill Green Robe quickly. Yi Chenfeng transmitted his voice. After saying that, the sword puppet held 2 low-grade Dao weapons and the King of Massacre attacked Forest Butcher, who was holding the star shield. Yi Chenfeng and the other 2 besieged Green Robe, who was retreating quickly. Green Robe, where are you going? When Yi Chenfeng saw that Green Robe was trying to escape, he immediately used the sword steps to stop him. He took a step forward and 70 sword Dao patterns flew out like a rain of swords, sealing off Green Robe's escape route. Then, Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan attacked Green Robe together. They wanted to injure him severely and end the battle quickly. Poison Dao intent, poison gas filling the sky. Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan closed in. Green Robe unleashed his poison Dao intent to the extreme. A large amount of poison gas spread out from his body, forming a poison tide that filled the sky. Death Flame Sky Fire Refine. When the poison tide filled the sky, Yi Chenfeng summoned the Death Flame Sky Fire and refined the poison gas crazily. He protected Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan's bodies, not giving the poison gas a chance to invade their bodies. Then, the 5 elemental Dao intent, life and death Dao intent, and heaven and earth Dao intent gushed out from Yi Chenfeng's body. With unparalleled destructive power, they bombarded Green Robe's body, causing his blood and qi to tumble. He was forced to retreat. Damn it. It has only been a few days and he has become stronger again. After being forced back by Yi Chenfeng's 3 fused Dao intents, Green Robe, who had suffered a great loss, was even more terrified. He did not dare to fight with the 3 of them and wanted to escape with his speed. Green Robe, I didn't kill you last time. Today you will die without a doubt. Yi Chenfeng did not give Green Robe a chance to escape. The vermilion bird cauldron flew out of his body and suppressed the void. It released an overwhelming suppressive force that limited Green Robe's speed. When Green Robe relied on his powerful strength to forcefully tear apart the suppressive force released by the vermilion bird cauldron, Ling Yu stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and attacked him with the god-perplexing fist that was filled with destructive power. The punch broke through his defense, caved in his chest, and sent him flying. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 808. The battle became more and more intense. Since the level 5 Beast Emperor Forest Butcher was restrained by the Sword Spirit Puppet and the King of Massacre, its poisonous gas filled the sky. The extremely powerful green robe was heavily injured by Yi Chunfeng and the other two. This greatly reduced the pressure on the Jiang and Bai families. Under the leadership of Kong Sungchen, Jiang Yixian, and Bai Qingtian, the experts of the Jiang and Bai families gradually gained control of the situation, suppressing the attacks of the True Demon Clan and Sun Luo Hall experts. However, Jiang Yixian and the others knew that the real battle was between Bai Feng, Xing Biue, and the Great Demon Envoy. Once Bai Feng and Xing Biue were defeated, the Great Demon Envoy and the other two could form the Three Despair Demon Killing Formation and reverse the situation. Mad Demon. Bai Feng also knew the heavy responsibility on his shoulders. His attacks were suppressed by the terrifying Blood Demon, so he quickly ignited his blood qi and transformed into his beast soul form, entering his strongest Mad Demon state. Ice Spirit Physique. Bai Feng began to fight with all her might, and Xing Biue also used her final trump card. She activated her powerful physique, and the power of extreme Yin and extreme Frost radiated from her beautiful body. Ice Spirit Physique. Senior Xing and Yu actually have the same physique. Looking at the cold energy spreading out like a fairy, Yi Chunfeng immediately recognized that Xing Biue had the same physique as Fu Yue. However, Fu Yue had just developed the Ice Spirit Physique, while Xing Biue had almost completely unearthed the potential of the Ice Spirit Physique. Roar roar roar. When Bai Feng and Xing Biue both transformed, the Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy poured their blood qi into the Three Despair Demon Killing Formation at all costs, increasing the power of the Blood Demon. They mobilized endless blood qi to attack Bai Feng and Xing Biue, wanting to borrow the power of the formation to kill the two. Bai Feng and Xing Biue were fighting fiercely against the Blood Demon. Kong Sungchen, who was fighting against the Black and White Demon Envoys by himself, was also in a tough battle. Although Kong Sungchen's strength was far superior to any of the Black and White Demon Envoys, the two of them had a tacit understanding of each other. Furthermore, they had mastered the body fusion technique. They had fought hundreds of rounds with Kong Sungchen without falling into a disadvantageous position. We need to find a breakthrough point. Otherwise, if this drags on, I'm afraid it will be disadvantageous to us. Kong Sungchen, who was controlling the falling star hammer, looked at Yi Chunfeng. At this moment, he had no choice but to place his hopes on Yi Chunfeng. As long as Yi Chunfeng and the other two could quickly kill off the extremely powerful green robes and help him, he would be able to reverse the situation. By relying on his absolute offensive power, he would be able to heavily wound the Black and White Demon Envoys and control the overall situation. Just as Kong Sungchen was placing his hopes on Yi Chunfeng, Forest Butcher, who had a terrifying defense, let out a painful howl. His strong body fell from the sky, smashing a large hole in the ground. Forest Butcher is injured. Kong Sungchen's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Forest Butcher, who had the same strength as him and possessed the astral shield, had been injured. I want your lives. Forest Butcher, whose head was bleeding, crawled out of the hole. He poured his powerful soul power into the astral shield and threw it out with all his strength. It tore through space and bombarded the sword puppet. Facing the attack of the astral shield, the sword puppet didn't dodge. Instead, it used its indestructible body to block the fatal blow of the astral shield. What? Seeing the sword puppet block the fatal blow of the astral shield with its body, Forest Butcher was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell out. The King of Massacre seized the opportunity when Forest Butcher lost his astral shield and controlled the ancient mirror of Xana to fiercely attack. Beams of ancient mirror of Xana pierced through the void and attacked Forest Butcher's strong body. Yama Tactics. Facing the ancient mirror of Xana, Forest Butcher came back to his senses. He ignored the injuries on his body and operated the Yama Tactics to the extreme. He held the devil bone hammer and attacked with all his strength. He wanted to shatter the ancient mirror of Xana that had strong penetrating power. However, the ancient mirror of Xana was a Gu Dao treasure. Its attacking power was even above that of a Dao treasure. Under the dense attack of the ancient mirror of Xana, Forest Butcher's attack was completely suppressed. His body was constantly pierced through. His arms that were holding the devil bone hammer were severely numb. He almost couldn't hold the devil bone hammer. Astral shield, come back! Being suppressed by the ancient mirror of massacre, Forest Butcher, who was in danger, was about to summon the astral shield back to block the penetrating attack of the ancient mirror of Xana. However, the sword puppet reacted faster. It kept using its body to block the astral shield, not giving Forest Butcher a chance to summon it back. Heavenly Demon Blood Arts. Unable to summon the astral shield back, Forest Butcher, who was covered in blood, performed the Heavenly Demon Blood Arts. It ignited all the blood in his body and overdrew his potential, greatly increasing his strength. With the increase in his strength, Forest Butcher ignored the injuries on his body and quickly waved the devil bone hammer. He smashed the ancient mirror of Xana and quickly approached the King of Massacre, wanting to kill him. Heavenly Demon Rope. Forest Butcher, who was like a killing god from hell, approached. The King of Massacre immediately formed 3 heavenly demon ropes and bound his body. Following that, the King of Massacre performed a supreme Dao skill, Heavenly Demon Dance in all directions. The 8 great demon blades merged together and forced Forest Butcher, who was approaching him, back. A deep sword wound split open his chest, and a large amount of blood seeped out. Golden Lion, help me quickly. The situation was dire. When everyone was attacking with all their might, Green Robe, whose life was hanging by a thread, immediately shouted to the golden-haired, burly, middle-aged man who was as strong as a lion. Seeing that Green Robe was in danger, Golden Lion, who was a level 4 combat beast emperor, gritted his teeth and forced 3 Jiang family level 3 combat beast emperors to retreat. He quickly turned back, wanting to save Green Robe. It's useless. No one can save you today. Yi Chunfeng roared and 70 sword-based Dao patterns shot out from the Emperor's sky sword. It was like an extreme shooting star as it pierced towards Green Robe's chest. Black Cauldron. Feeling the terror of Yi Chunfeng's sword, Green Robe immediately spat out a black cauldron that was as black as ink. He used all his strength to block this fatal attack. Large amounts of blinding flames shot out from the surface of the black cauldron. The killing sword light, which was filled with 70 sword-based Dao patterns, pierced through the black cauldron. It did not reduce its speed as it pierced towards Black Robe, whose expression changed drastically. This forced him to dodge quickly. Screech! A sharp bird cry was heard. Fu Qingshan had activated the bloodline of the Green Emperor Rock and turned into a ferocious rock shadow. He ruthlessly crashed into Black Robe's body and interrupted his dodging. Extreme Dao of Xianming. Illusory Dragon Water Shadow. Without waiting for the Golden Lion King to get close to him, the will of Dao that Yi Chunfeng had comprehended completely erupted. His left hand struck out with the force of Extreme Mystic, while his right hand struck out with a dragon-like illusory water shadow. The 2 Daoist techniques merged together, and the heavens and the earth changed drastically. The terrifying will of Dao bombarded Green Robe's body fiercely, breaking through his physical defenses and shattering his physical body. When Green Robe was sent flying by Yi Chunfeng's Dao technique, the spiritual fish stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and appeared behind him. It exploded with the power of a landslide and ruthlessly crashed onto Green Robe's back. It shattered his spine and sent him flying towards Yi Chunfeng. It's over. Let me send you to hell. Seeing that Green Robe had lost control of his body and was flying towards him while spitting out blood, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed and instantly merged with the Emperor's Sky Sword. He activated all the offensive array patterns in the Emperor's Sky Sword and slashed towards Green Robe. TSK. An extremely fast sword light flashed in front of Green Robe's eyes. Yi Chunfeng became one with his weapon. The sword light that came down directly split Green Robe's body into two halves. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng appeared beside Green Robe's head, which was bleeding profusely. He circulated the soul-devouring art and devoured Green Robe's spiritual beast. He then crushed Green Robe's head and killed him. Mobile users, please browse to Reading. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 809. Clatter. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng and the other two kill Green Robe, Golden Lion's expression changed drastically. He quickly turned around and tried to escape. Do you think you can run away? Yi Chunfeng said with a murderous intent. He stepped on the sword and tore through the void. He blocked Golden Lion's path at a speed several times faster than the speed of light. Then, 10 runes of Heaven Tao flew out of his body and turned into the roaring might of heaven. They twisted the void and bombarded Golden Lion. Golden Lion Tao Seal. Faced with Yi Chunfeng's merciless attack of the heavenly way, the Golden Lion King, who had nowhere to run, quickly formed a seal. 2 wills of the great path gushed out of his body, turning into a mighty and extraordinary lion head seal, which fiercely bombarded the might of the heavenly way. The 2 Tao intents bombarded together and set off endless waves. The terrifying destructive power crazily impacted their bodies. Golden Body Release. Enduring the destructive impact that could topple mountains and overturn seas, Yi Chunfeng immediately used the Golden Body Burst. A large amount of golden light was emitted from his body. His entire body seemed to have been cast in gold, and his defense was increased by 50%. He relied on his strong physical body to withstand the destructive impact. Then, 70 sword Tao patterns gushed out of his body and cut through the rolling destructive storm. They attacked Golden Lion, who was retreating. Demonic Lion Technique. Having experienced the terror of Yi Chunfeng, the Golden Lion King used his last resort. A lifelike black demonic lion emerged from his body. With a roar that shook the mountains and rivers, he pounced towards Yi Chunfeng. Suddenly, an extremely fast light tore through the destructive storm and blocked in front of Yi Chunfeng. Burning the bloodline of the divine ape, Ling Yu's eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit as he punched out. His fist, which contained more than 40 million gene of strength, smashed into the demonic lion, resisting the demonic lion's skill displayed by the Golden Lion. Then, Fu Qingshan appeared behind Golden Lion. The long spear in his hand spun rapidly like a dragon and stabbed at Golden Lion's back. Caught off guard, Golden Lion's back was pierced by the sharp spear tip. The high-speed rotating spear tip continued to destroy his body's defense and mince his flesh, causing his whole face to distort in pain. Just as Golden Lion relied on his absolute strength to repel Fu Qingshan with his supreme-grade celestial saber, a giant hand that was infused with the will of the 5 elements, life and death, and the will of heaven and earth descended from the sky with unparalleled destructive power. It ruthlessly imprinted itself on Golden Lion's body and directly pressed him to the ground from mid-air. His strong body was badly mutilated, and large amounts of blood gushed out uncontrollably from his body. Vermilion Bird Cauldron, Kill. Heavily injured, the Golden Lion King did not hesitate to use the blood escape technique to escape. But at this time, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron fell from the sky and ruthlessly suppressed his severely injured body, forcibly suppressing him. Save me! Suppressed by the Suzaku Cauldron, the desperate Golden Lion let out a cry for help, praying that someone could save him at the critical moment. Don't shout. You will die today. Yi Chunfeng left an afterimage in mid-air and appeared beside him. He pressed his right hand on the top of Golden Lion's head and used the soul-devouring art to devour his spirit beast. Then, he crushed Golden Lion's head and ended his life. Yi Chunfeng and the other two worked together to kill 2 level 4 beast emperors, intimidating the experts of the True Demon clan. It also made Gloom Butcher, who was suppressed by the Sword Puppet and the King of Massacre, feel a strong sense of danger. Third Uncle Fu, go help Blood River deal with Gloom Butcher. Ling Yu, go help Senior Jiang. After killing Green Robe and Golden Lion, Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes swept across the battlefield and transmitted his instructions. Then, he stepped on the sword steps and walked through the void, killing all the experts of the True Demon clan and Dark Azura Hall who blocked his way. He arrived beside Bai Feng and Xingbue, who were under heavy pressure. Qingfeng, be careful. This blood demon's battle strength is beyond imagination. Bai Feng saw Yi Chunfeng coming over on the sword diagram and reminded him. Don't worry, Senior. He can't hurt me. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng ignited his demonic god bloodline and transformed into a terrifying demonic god body. His entire body was covered with crimson-red blood qi, and terrifying energy surged up like waves. It was as if a demonic god had been reborn. Golden Body Secrets. After transforming into his divine demon body, Yi Chunfeng used the Golden Body Secrets again. The surface of his steel-like body was covered in a thick layer of golden light, increasing his defense by 50%. He directly rushed toward the terrifying blood demon. Die! The blood demon let out a deep and savage muffled roar. Its giant hand, which was filled with endless bloody light, fiercely slapped down. It shattered the layers of air and bombarded Yi Chunfeng, who was close to it. Be careful! Bai Feng and Xingbue didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to be so daring. He actually used his physical body to block the blood demon's terrifying attack. They both warned him. However, after using the Golden Body Secrets, Yi Chunfeng's physical body surpassed an ordinary mid-grade Dao tool. Although the blood demon was strong, it couldn't cause any fatal damage to him. 60 million gene of force. Yi Chunfeng raised the strength of his physical body to the limit. Like a meteor, he heavily collided with the blood demon's giant hand. A loud explosion resounded. He blocked it. He used his physical body to block the blood demon's attack. This kid is definitely a monster. Bai Feng and Xingbue's eyes widened. They stared in horror at Yi Chunfeng's indestructible body. Even their souls trembled. Seniors, I'll take charge of defense. You two take charge of offense. Quickly kill the blood demon. Yi Chunfeng shouted at the shocked faces of Bai Feng and Xingbue. Alright. After recovering from their shock, Bai Feng and Xingbue both took action. They controlled their Dao treasures and attacked the blood demon's body. Because Yi Chunfeng was resisting the blood demon's attacks, Bai Feng and Xingbue pushed their offensive power to the limit. Sharp ancient swords and destructive lotuses constantly destroyed the blood demon's body, breaking apart the array diagram. F***CK, where did this monster come from? The more the great demon envoy and the other two fought, the more frightened they became. The more they fought, the more their hearts trembled. They were deeply shocked by Yi Chunfeng's intrepid body. Although the blood demon that they condensed with the help of the Tridespair demon-killing formation was terrifying, if the blood demon was killed, they would suffer a severe backlash and be seriously injured. Blood Qi, burn it all! The great demon envoy and the other two bit their lips and continued to burn their blood Qi, injecting it into the Tridespair demon-killing formation to repair the blood demon's cracked body. However, under Yi Chunfeng's relentless defense, the blood demon couldn't harm Xingbue and Bai Feng at all. This allowed them to push their offensive power to the limit, bombarding the blood demon and forcing it to retreat. Frost Black Flag, Frost Falling Sky. Just as the blood demon's injuries were getting worse and worse, Xingbue shook the Frost Black Flag, forming endless cold air that froze the blood demon's broken body. It forcefully cut off the blood demon's infusion of blood qi into the Tridespair demon-killing formation. In the next moment, Bai Feng, who was in a frenzied state, used his ultimate move. The Tao intent of yin and yang and the Tao intent of sword gushed out of his body. They complemented each other and merged into the 7 ancient sword. Sky ruling ancient sword. The power of the Tao intent reached the limit. Bai Feng controlled the 7 ancient swords to intertwine together and slashed at the blood demon that shattered the cold air. The terrifying sword power caused a vacuum to appear in the space. The entire space seemed to be unable to withstand this sword and collapsed. Boom! The blood demon's huge body trembled. Its body exploded from Bai Feng's sky-ruling ancient sword, dissipating into the chaotic space. Mobile users, please browse to mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 810. PFFF. 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 The blood demon was slashed apart by Bai Feng. The great demon envoy, blood demon envoy, and the blood-robed elder all suffered from the backlash of the Tri-Despair demon slaughter formation. Their meridians were severely damaged, and large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouth. You 3 pieces of trash, die for me. Seeing the executioners who killed the Jasper Palace's disciples, the red-eyed Xingbue immediately launched a deadly attack at them. She wanted to kill them with her own hands and take revenge for the dead Jasper Palace's disciples. 3 arts of burial sword, burial earth. Burial heaven, Xingbue attacked with surging killing intent. The great demon envoy and blood demon envoy wielded their respective low-grade Tao artifacts and executed the terrifying 3 arts of burial sword. They tore apart the heaven and earth like 2 torrents of death, bombarding towards Xingbue. The blood-robed elder also summoned an offensive disc array at this moment. It interweaved with a large amount of offensive Tao patterns and attack. Cold Crow Sky Raid. Facing the deadly attacks launched by the great demon envoy and the other 2, Xingbue didn't dodge. She poured her soul power and Tao intent into the Cold Crow flag, condensing a huge bird made of ice, and clashed with the attack. Boom! 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 The Cold Crow, Burial Heaven, and Burial Earth collided and immediately released a powerful destructive force. They fiercely repelled each other in mid-air, twisting the void. Immediately after, the blood-robed elder controlled the offensive disc array to attack. The terrifying offensive array patterns directly blasted the Cold Crow flag into pieces. Xingbue's attack was broken, and Bai Feng controlled the 6 ancient swords with astonishing offensive power to cleave through them like a hot knife through butter. They interweaved with hundreds of incomparably sharp sword lights and strangled the 3. Retreat. After suffering from the backlash of the Tri-Despair demon slaughter formation, the severely injured Great Demon Envoy and the other 2 didn't dare to continue fighting. They used all their skills to block the attacks of the ancient sword disc while trying to break out of the Jasper Palace. Sword steps. When the 3 broke out of the encirclement, Yi Chunfeng used the sword steps to intercept them. 70 sword Tao patterns were constantly shot out, sealing the space and attacking their bodies. Go to hell. Seeing Yi Chunfeng trying to stop them, the Great Demon Envoy and Blood Demon Envoy suppressed their injuries and used their powerful Tao skills to attack Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and spat a mouthful of blood essence into it, awakening the soul of the Vermilion Bird and blocking the ferocious attacks of the 2. Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening explosions rang out, and the Vermilion Bird Cauldron resisted for 2 breaths before it was sent flying by the powerful attacks unleashed by the 2 of them. Black Killing Rune, Destroy. The crimson-robed old man took advantage of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron being knocked away to launch an attack. Streaks of black formation patterns shot toward Yi Chunfeng's body like violent snake. Yi Chunfeng did not dodge the attack of the black kill array pattern. Instead, he rushed forward with all his strength. Relying on his middle-grade Tao artifact body, he blocked the black kill array pattern and approached the shocked blood-robed elder. "Let me send you to hell first." Yi Qianfeng's eyes were filled with killing intent. 3 sky demon devil ropes broke out of his body and bound the level 3 combat beast emperor, sealing off the space where the crimson-robed elder could dodge. Following that, the 3 fused Tao intents were infused into his right fist. The force of 60 million pounds exploded and blasted toward the crimson-robed elder, who had nowhere to dodge. Black killing array pattern, defend. Sensing the terrifying power of Yi Qianfeng's punch, the crimson-robed elder immediately placed the black killing array pattern in front of him to block this fatal punch. Crack! Yi Qianfeng's punch that was filled with unparalleled destructive power smashed the black killing array pattern into pieces and landed on the crimson-robed elder's chest without any decrease in power. In the next moment, Yi Qianfeng's fist that was filled with Tao intent and destructive power exploded. It shattered the crimson-robed elder's defense and penetrated his chest. "You want to kill me? Die with me." With his vitality destroyed, the crimson-robed elder revealed his vicious side. He ignited all the soul power in his body and released a destructive power. He launched a fatal attack toward Yi Qianfeng, wanting to take him down with him. However, Yi Qianfeng's physical defense was too terrifying. The crimson-robed elder's self-destruction only slightly injured him and was unable to destroy his body. However, the Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy took advantage of the crimson-robed elder's self-destruction to break out of the encirclement and fly into the Jasper Palace. The strongest Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy had escaped. Forest Butcher, whose attacks were suppressed by the Sword Puppet, the King of Slaughter, and Fu Qinshan, and the Black and White Demon Envoys, who were fighting fiercely with Kong Sungchen and the Spirit Fish, had also escaped into the Jasper Palace. Their escape directly disintegrated the battle intent of the True Demon Tribe and the Dark Azura Hall's experts, causing them to panic. They abandoned their opponents and used all their skills to escape. Chase with all your strength. Don't let them escape through the teleportation array. Seeing the experts of the 2 great powers escape into the Jasper Palace, Zheng Biue immediately guessed that they were most likely going to use the ancient teleportation array in the Jasper Palace to escape. She waved the Cold Crow flag and chased with all her strength. She was determined to kill them all and avenge the dead Jasper Palace disciples. Under the pursuit of Zheng Biue, Kong Sungchen, and the others, the experts of the 2 great powers suffered heavy casualties. Experts were constantly being killed by the destruction Tao intent that they blasted out. However, the Great Demon Envoy and the others still escaped into the forbidden grounds of the Jasper Palace, arriving at the ancient teleportation array sealed in the depths of the forbidden grounds. Zheng Biue, Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, just you wait. The next time we come back, it will be your doomsday. The heavily injured Great Demon Envoy gritted his teeth and quickly took out 3 teleportation stones. He fused them into the ancient teleportation array and activated it, wanting to escape through the teleportation array. There won't be a next time. Kong Sungchen, who was the fastest, roared. He forcefully threw out the falling star hammer that was constantly growing in size, ruthlessly smashing it into the ancient teleportation array. The terrifying force forcefully shattered the 3 teleportation stones that activated the teleportation array, interrupting the teleportation. In the next moment, Bai Feng, Zheng Biue, Yi Qianfeng, the King of Massacre, and the others charged over. They continuously blasted out terrifying Tao techniques, bombarding the panicked experts of the 2 great powers and crazily harvesting their lives. Soon, blood flowed like a river outside the teleportation array. The smell of blood drifting in the air was almost tangible. It was nauseating. With the teleportation interrupted, the Great Demon Envoy, the Black and White Demon Envoys, and the others could only brace themselves and try to kill their way out. However, their fighting spirit had waned, and they could not resist the attacks of Kong Sungchen, Zheng Biue, and the others. Their injuries continued to worsen. Just as the True Demon Clan and the Sun Luo Temple were in danger and were about to be surrounded and killed by the experts of the Jiang and by families, the ancient teleportation array that was hit by the falling star hammer suddenly lit up. Rays of dazzling teleportation light shot out from the ancient teleportation array, rendering the chaotic space as bright as day. In the next moment, two tall women wearing black martial arts clothes and silver devil masks suddenly walked out from the Jasper Palace's teleportation array. They were level 6 combat beast emperors. Their auras shook the space around them. Although the two women were wearing silver devil masks, Yi Chunfeng's eyes widened when he saw the tallest woman in black with an extremely hot body. He felt a sense of familiarity. It's her. A beautiful face involuntarily appeared in Yi Chunfeng's mind. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 811. Demon Queen, Saintess, you're finally here. The great demon envoy and the others, who were on the brink of death, heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the two devil-masked women walking out of the teleportation array. They were pleasantly surprised and shouted loudly. A bunch of trash. You have so many experts and set up such an inescapable trap. In the end, you were still hunted down and your escape route was sealed. If it weren't for your value, trash like you wouldn't be worth my and Saintess' help. The Demon Queen, who had a voluptuous figure and a mature charm like a peach, lectured them coldly without a trace of emotion. It's you. You're the one who severely injured me and controlled my soul, Xing Biue gritted her teeth and said when she recognized the mature charm of the Demon Queen, who had almost destroyed her. Xing Biue, I have truly underestimated you. I never expected you to be able to break the soul seal I placed in your mind. The Infernal Queen looked coldly at the enraged Xing Biue. She was neither happy nor sad as she spoke slowly. I swear that I'll return the damage your True Demon Clan has caused to my Biu Palace 100-fold, Xing Biue swore through gritted teeth. Xing Biue, aren't you overestimating yourself? If I can capture you once, I can capture you again. However, I've already lost interest in you. This time, I'll personally destroy you and send you to hell, the Demon Queen said with murderous intent. Qin Tian Yixian, stay here. The rest of you, quickly leave the Biu Palace. The sudden appearance of the Demon Queen and Saintess was too much of a threat. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, Kong Sungchen ordered loudly. Senior, we'll stay and help you, Yi Chunfeng said without backing down as he stared at the Saintess, who was of unknown origin but gave him a familiar feeling. No, the two of them are too much of a threat. You can't stay here, Kong Sungchen refused immediately. Don't leave. Leave your lives here. When the Infernal Queen saw that Jiang and Bai wanted to retreat, she quickly fused with the power of her spiritual beast. A suffocating power erupted from her plump body. The next moment, the Infernal Queen's body blurred as she suddenly launched a lethal attack at the Jiang and Bai family experts, hoping to kill them all. Sun Moon Star Palm. Just as the Infernal Queen was about to strike, Kong Sungchen, who reacted quickly, suddenly appeared in front of her attack trajectory. He struck out with a huge hand that was filled with the power of the sun, moon, and stars, causing the space around him to tremble violently as he struck at the Infernal Queen. As the sun, moon, and stars' palm approached, the Devil Empress, who did not slow down, threw out a punch. A terrifying fist beam with a long demonic tail directly blasted the sun, moon, and stars' palm, and then bombarded Kong Sungchen, forcing him to attack consecutively before finally dispelling the Devil Empress attack. So strong. Seeing that Kong Sungchen was at a disadvantage in the face-to-face battle with the Devil Empress, Xing Biue quickly appeared in the air and fought side by side with Kong Sungchen, facing the unfathomable Devil Empress. As for Bai Feng, Bai Qingtian, and Jiang Yixian, who had a grave expression on their faces, they looked at the holy maiden, who had a perfect figure and seemed to be flawless. They were on guard against her sneak attacks. "You guys, hold them back for me," the Saintess ordered the Great Demon Envoy, Blood Demon Envoy, and the others. Although the Great Demon Envoy and the others were seriously injured and their combat power was greatly reduced, they did not dare to disobey the orders of the Saintess, who had an extraordinary status. Ignoring their injuries, they controlled their respective Taoist artifacts to launch fierce attacks at Bai Feng and the others. When the Great Demon Envoy and the others attacked, the Saintess moved. She took a step forward, leaving behind an afterimage as she suddenly appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng. She reached out her white and tender hand and pressed it against Yi Chunfeng's chest. As expected, her eyes are on me. When the Saintess appeared, Yi Chunfeng had a feeling that her aura had locked onto him. Therefore, Yi Chunfeng was already prepared. The moment she attacked, he immediately used the sword steps to dodge. Yi Chunfeng's reaction was extremely fast, but the Saintess' attack speed was even faster. In an instant, she pressed out 8 Daowul palms, sealing off Yi Chunfeng's space to dodge. His life was in danger. Xian Ming Extreme Dao. Illusory Dragon Water Shadow. Unable to dodge, several Dao wills gushed out of Yi Chunfeng's body. He struck out with the Xian Ming force with one hand and the dragon-like water shadow with the other. He stirred up the void to resist the Saintess' Dao will palms. Boom, boom, boom. A series of violent explosions rang out. The extreme mystic force and the illusory dragon water shadow were both shattered. Yi Chunfeng was blown away by the terrifying residual power of the will of the Wei. A stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. "Mad demon, hurry up and save Qingfeng. He's in danger." Kong Sungchen, who was using all his strength to resist the demon queen's tide-like attacks, saw Yi Chunfeng being blown away by the Saintess. His heart tightened as he shouted at Bai Feng. However, under the all-out attacks of the Great Demon Ambassador, Blood Demon Ambassador, Black and White Demon Ambassador, Bai Feng was firmly entangled. He couldn't save Yi Chunfeng in a short period of time. God-shocking fist. Ancient instant mirror. Bai Feng was entangled by the Great Demon Ambassador and others, so he couldn't save Yi Chunfeng. At this moment, the Spirit Fish, King of Massacre, and Sword Puppet rushed to Yi Chunfeng's side to help him resist the Saintess' attack. However, the Saintess' strength was too terrifying. She posed a great threat to Yi Chunfeng and the others. Yi Chunfeng could only rely on the Sword Puppet's defense to resist her fatal attack. "Han Yan, do you really want to kill me?" Yi Chunfeng sent a voice transmission as he fought the Saintess. When he first saw the Saintess, he felt that the Saintess of the true demon race was very likely Shui Han Yan, who he had an unclear relationship with. However, the Saintess didn't respond to Yi Chunfeng's voice transmission. She continued to slap her smooth jade-like hands, blasting out a power that could destroy the void, worsening the injuries of Yi Chunfeng and the others. "Han Yan, I know that I was wrong to spank you back then, but didn't you kiss me? Furthermore, I saved you. You can't be thinking of killing me to vent your anger over such a small matter, right?" In order to confirm his guess, Yi Chunfeng kept mentioning what had happened in the Life Forbidden Zone and the dispute between him and Shui Han Yan. Just as Yi Chunfeng had guessed, when Yi Chunfeng mentioned the humiliation he had suffered back then, the Saintess' aura underwent a subtle change. However, her attacks became even more ferocious. The terrifying attacks directly sent the spirit fish flying several thousand meters away. It fiercely crashed into the ground, heavily injured. Yi Chunfeng and the King of Slaughter also vomited blood from the waves of ferocious attacks, retreating step by step. If it weren't for the sword puppet dispelling the majority of the attacks, Yi Chunfeng would have been defeated long ago. "Han Yan, I know it's you. Don't pretend anymore. If you're really angry about me spanking you back then, I'll just let you spank me a few more times. There's no need to fight to the death between us." Sensing the change in the Saintess' aura, Yi Chunfeng was basically certain that the saintess was Shui Hanyan. He constantly provoked her, disturbing her mind, and looking for an opportunity to turn the situation around. "You're courting death." Having her scars repeatedly touched by Yi Chunfeng, Shui Hanyan was completely enraged. She let out a bone-chilling voice and used her killing move. Yin Yang Sword. Shui Hanyan used one hand to form Yin and the other to form Yang, forming two Yin Yang swords. They cut through the void and slashed toward Yi Chunfeng and the King of Slaughter. Sword Puppet Defend. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet in front of him, borrowing its defense to block the Yin Yang sword's fatal attack. Feeling the terrifying power of Shui Hanyan's killing move, the King of Slaughter continuously spat out blood essence into the ancient instantaneous mirror, using all its strength to block the Yin Yang sword's attack. Boom! Boom! Two loud sounds rang out and the space trembled twice. Facing the Yin Yang sword's attack, the sword puppet didn't move at all. However, the King of Slaughter, who was holding the ancient instantaneous mirror, was sent flying 1,000 meters away, heavily injured like the spirit fish. The spirit fish and the King of Slaughter were heavily injured one after another, making Yi Chunfeng's situation even more dangerous. He couldn't figure out why Shui Hanyan wanted to kill him the moment she saw him. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 812. Hanyan, if you don't stop now, don't blame me for using the divine weapon spirit to deal with you. Although Yi Chunfeng was unwilling to expose the big secret of the 9-dragon jade annulus, he had no choice but to use the divine weapons spirit to threaten Shui Hanyan. Mad Devil Hammer. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's warning, Shui Hanyan did not stop. Instead, she summoned her Dao treasure Mad Devil Hammer and smashed it at Yi Chunfeng, forcing him to use the sword puppet to defend with all his strength. However, under Shui Hanyan's repeated attacks with the Mad Devil Hammer, the energy of the sword puppet was rapidly depleted. Furthermore, Shui Hanyan's sword steps increased her speed too quickly. Therefore, Yi Chunfeng did not dare to use the 9-dragon jade annulus rashly, lest his attack failed and put him in a more dangerous situation. Feeling that the sword puppet had 1/3 of its energy left, Yi Chunfeng did not dare to continue to deplete the sword puppet's energy. Once he lost the sword puppet, Shui Hanyan's attacks would directly endanger his life. Golden Rock Bloodline Ignite. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng stored the sword puppet into the universe realm. Then, he ignited the Golden Rock Bloodline, wanting to rely on his speed to dodge Shui Hanyan's attack. However, Shui Hanyan, who had broken through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm, was too terrifying. Her attacks with the Mad Devil Hammer constantly distorted the void, affecting Yi Chunfeng's speed. When Shui Hanyan's Yin-Yang Dao intent was about to hit him, Yi Chunfeng immediately used sword steps, tearing apart the distorted void and dodging with all his strength. Shui Hanyan, you better pray that you don't give me a chance to take revenge. Otherwise, I will definitely strip you naked, hang you up, and spank your ass. Although Yi Chunfeng did not feel any killing intent from Shui Hanyan, each of her attacks was fatal. He gritted his teeth and transmitted his voice. Today, I will spank your ass first. After saying that, Shui Hanyan, who was angry out of humiliation, increased the frequency of her attacks. Her attacks swept towards Yi Chunfeng like a tidal wave, making him feel a strong sense of danger. Boom! Yi Chunfeng, who couldn't dodge, was struck by Shui Hanyan's Yin and Yang Dao insight, and his entire body was like a kite with its string cut as he fell from midair and fiercely smashed onto the ground, causing large amounts of blood to spray out from his mouth. After successfully injuring Yi Chunfeng, Shui Hanyan controlled the Mad Demon's hammer to smash down on Yi Chunfeng, who had fallen into the pit, dealing a fatal blow to him. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the 9-dragon jade annulus and poured his soul force into it, controlling it to resist the mad demon hammer's attack. Dong! When the mad devil's hammer smashed into the 9-dragon jade wall, it created a huge shockwave. A powerful repulsive force surged on the surface of the 9-dragon jade wall, neutralizing the mad devil's fatal attack. He really does have a great treasure on him. Shui Hanyan's eyes, which were hidden behind the silver mask, lit up. She continued to control the mad demon hammer to attack Yi Chunfeng. But at this moment, Yi Chunfeng used his sword steps and tore open the pit. Holding the 9-dragon jade wall, he appeared in midair and relied on his speed to continue dodging Shui Hanyan's attack. Let's see if your sword steps or mine are faster. Yi Chunfeng used his sword steps to dodge, while Shui Hanyan used her sword steps to pursue. The two turned into endless rays of light in midair, fiercely crisscrossing and riddling the chaotic void with thousands of holes. This Shui Hanyan should have cultivated her sword steps to the nuance realm. Feeling that Shui Hanyan's sword steps were faster than his, Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain imprint to move her steps while using the 9-dragon jade wall to defend and dodge. While the God-Eater Brain imprint was deducing Shui Hanyan's footsteps, Yi Chunfeng's sword steps were constantly increasing in speed, and his body's potential was constantly stimulated. But under Shui Hanyan's ferocious attacks, Yi Chunfeng was in danger, and his injuries were worsening. If not for the fact that Yi Chunfeng's body was strong enough to be comparable to a mid-grade Dao artifact, Shui Hanyan's continuous attacks would have destroyed his body long ago. Ancient Sword of Heaven. After tearing apart the encirclement of the great demon envoy and the others, Bai Feng quickly appeared beside Shui Hanyan. The Tao of Yin and Yang and the Tao of Sword gushed out of his body and fused into the ancient Sword of Heaven as he launched his strongest attack at Shui Hanyan. The ancient Sword of Six Paths controlled the world and cut through the void, bringing with it an unparalleled destructive force as it slashed at the ferocious Shui Hanyan. Because Bai Feng's attack was so powerful, the space around Shui Hanyan began to collapse, forcing her to give up on attacking Yi Chunfeng and focus on defending against Bai Feng's attack. Boom! The mad devil hammer in Shui Hanyan's hand collided with Bai Feng's ancient Sword of Heaven, creating a destructive force that seemed to tear the sky apart. After taking the blow head-on, Bai Feng ignored his injuries and continued to attack Shui Hanyan, not giving her a chance to kill Yi Chunfeng. Senior Bai, I don't know if you can restrict her movements for 1 second with your strength. Yi Chunfeng quickly consumed 3 heaven-grade soul elixirs. As he healed his injuries, he sent a voice transmission to Bai Feng, who was in a demonic state. If Bai Feng could restrict Shui Hanyan's movements, Yi Chunfeng could control the 9-dragon jade annulus to launch a fatal blow at her, seriously injuring her in one fell swoop and turning the situation around. Her strength is too terrifying. I can't restrict her with my current physical condition. Bai Feng helplessly said. I'll let the sword puppet help you. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet again and said, Senior, as long as you can restrict her movements for 1 second, I'll be able to seriously injure her. Okay, I'll try my best. At this time, Bai Feng didn't have time to think. He joined forces with the indestructible sword puppet and fiercely fought against Shui Hanyan. Kong Sungchen, Xingbue, and the Devil Empress were also in a state of anxiety. Relying on her absolute strength, the Devil Empress made Kong Sungchen and Xingbue's joint attacks fail time and time again. Her counterattacks were also worsening the injuries of Kong Sungchen and Xingbue. At this time, the Devil Empress's superiority in realm was fully revealed, making Kong Sungchen and Xingbue more and more anxious. They were constantly thinking of ways to turn the situation around. If they continued to delay, their situation would become more dangerous. Ancient Sword, seal the space. When the sword puppet blocked the continuous attacks of the mad devil hammer, Bai Feng spat a mouthful of blood essence into the ancient sword divine disc. He controlled 6 ancient swords with a bloody glow to descend from the sky and forcibly seal the space around Shui Hanyan. Good chance. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. He didn't waste the excellent opportunity that Bai Feng had fought for. He controlled the 9-dragon jade annulus to launch a fatal attack on Shui Hanyan and end the battle. Suddenly, 2 cold lights appeared. A terrifying murderous aura locked onto Yi Chunfeng. The next moment, 2 faint shadows appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng without any warning. 2 extremely sharp light swords stabbed at Yi Chunfeng's chest. They wanted to pierce through his chest and end his life. Not good. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect that there were still experts hiding in the dark waiting to assassinate him. Moreover, these 2 assassins' concealment skills were so high that they managed to deceive Yi Chunfeng's soul perception. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng's physical strength completely erupted. He quickly blasted out 2 punches and smashed them on the sharp sword tip. He paid the price of injuring his arms to forcefully resist the assassination attack. Suddenly, another sword light appeared. It was a sword that exceeded common sense. It was as if this sword appeared out of thin air. It was so fast that no one could react to it. Yi Chunfeng, who couldn't dodge, was stabbed in the chest by this sword light. His powerful physical body was directly pierced through. The terrifying sword light pierced through Yi Chunfeng's heart meridian like a hot knife through butter. A large amount of blood spurted out, and Yi Chunfeng was suddenly attacked by 3 extremely powerful assassins. It was out of everyone's expectations. Once his heart meridian was shattered by this sword, he would definitely be heavily injured and be at the mercy of others. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 813. Ching Feng Bro. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's body being pierced by the terrifying assassin's sword, Ling Yu, king of killers, Fu Qingshan, and the others felt their hearts tremble and rushed over without caring about their own safety. Dark Shadow, one of the 3 kings of assassins in Xingluo Sky City. Bai Feng, Kong Sungchen, and the others recognized the origin of the 3 assassins who launched the lightning attack on Yi Chunfeng. Their pupils instantly dilated and they were stunned. The 3 assassins were Xingluo Sky City's biggest trump card and had existed for countless years. Although the 3 assassins rarely showed themselves, every time they made a move, someone would die. Even someone as strong as Kong Sungchen and Bai Feng had to be wary of the 3 assassins. Chaos Divine Wood, defend. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Chaos Divine Wood in his heart meridian to block the fatal sword, protecting his heart meridian and neutralizing the fatal blow. The assassin who tried to assassinate Yi Chunfeng was shocked by the Chaos Divine Wood's defense. Just as he was about to continue his attack, and was about to kill Yi Chunfeng and seize the 9-dragon jade annulus, Shui Hanyan suddenly made her move. She forcibly shook away an ancient sword and threw the mad devil hammer at the assassin. The terrifying attack forced the assassin to retreat and saved Yi Chunfeng from the brink of death. The assassination was interrupted by Shui Hanyan, and the other 2 assassins continued their attack on Yi Chunfeng. 2 extremely fast sword shadows were like 2 stealthy vipers, revealing their fangs and continuously attacking Yi Chunfeng. As for the dark shadow assassin who had just been forced back by Shui Hanyan, he melted into a strange black light and stabbed his sword towards Shui Hanyan, not giving her any chance to save Yi Chunfeng. Ching Feng, watch out. The assassin's speed was too fast, and Bai Feng couldn't save Yi Chunfeng in time. He could only let out a terrifying roar to affect the attacks of the 2 assassins. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ignited his dragon heart, and his arms exploded with a terrifying strength. He held the 9-dragon jade annulus in front of him and blocked the 2 fatal swords. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng used his final trump card. He instantly burned 3,000 years of his lifespan and borrowed the boundless vitality to suppress the injuries on his body. He forcefully raised his cultivation realm to Class 4 Combat Beast Emperor realm. Hand your life over. Yi Chunfeng, whose strength had skyrocketed, let out a roar as he stepped on the sword. Like a floating sword light, his speed reached its peak as he launched a counterattack against the assassin who tried to assassinate him. As the sword slashed out, Yi Chunfeng's Tao will, soul power, and strength had all reached their peak. The incomparably sharp Emperor Celestial Sword slashed down from the heavens and isolated the void. It was as if a terrifying sword mountain was pressing down, causing the two assassins to reveal shocked expressions. They didn't dare to receive it head-on. Their strange bodies became blurry as they tried their best to dodge. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's sword slashed at the void, splitting open a huge gap in the chaotic void, releasing billowing black chi. Yi Chunfeng's sword forced the two assassins to retreat. The assassin that had just blocked the Shui Hanyan suddenly turned around and blended into a strange attack trajectory. He thrust his sword towards Yi Chunfeng's back. Divine Devil Bloodline Ignition, Golden Body Arts. Unable to dodge, Yi Chunfeng roared furiously. His voice reverberated through the 9 heavens. He ignited his Divine Devil Bloodline again and executed the Golden Body Arts, raising his defense to the extreme. Tisk! The assassin's sword stabbed onto Yi Chunfeng's steel-like Divine Devil body. It broke through the reddish-gold radiance, but it wasn't able to pierce through Yi Chunfeng's body, which was superior to ordinary mid-grade Dao artifacts. Yi Chunfeng made use of his strong foundation and vigorous life force to reverse the situation of certain death. He escaped death and began his desperate counterattack. A terrifying strength of more than 70 million Jin burst out from his body. He ignited the Emperor Celestial Artifact Spirit and swung the Emperor Celestial Sword, which was filled with sword aura. He slashed towards the assassin. Unable to dodge in time, the assassin's expression changed slightly. He used his black killing sword to block with all his might. Clang! The two great Dao artifacts clashed together and immediately surged with boundless sparks. There was an ear-piercing sound of collision. A terrifying strength that was beyond the assassin's imagination passed through the black killing sword and into his arm. It made him feel as if a mountain had crashed into his body. His arm went numb as he was sent flying. What kind of mystic ability is this? How can it be so terrifying? Feeling Yi Chunfeng's strength skyrocketing, Bai Feng, Kong Sungchen, Bai Qingtian, and the others widened their eyes in shock. It could be said that the existence of the life-spirit technique was beyond their imagination and understanding. True Demon's Tribe and Sin Luohal, follow me! Seeing Yi Chunfeng's strength skyrocketing, Shui Hanyan's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. However, she didn't attack Yi Chunfeng again. Instead, she led the two forces away. Hearing Shui Hanyan's order, the Devil Empress, who relied on her absolute strength to suppress Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue, was surprised. However, she didn't disobey Shui Hanyan's order. She decisively abandoned Kong Sungchen and Xing Biue and led the True Demon's Tribe and Sin Luohal's experts to break out of the Jasper Palace. Seeing the True Demon's Tribe and Sun Luohal's experts fly away, Kong Sungchen and the others, who were heavily injured and exhausted, didn't stop them and let them leave. Qingfeng, we're coming to help you. Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and the others quickly approached. They wanted to help Yi Chunfeng deal with the 3 unfathomable assassins and kill them. No need. I can deal with them myself. Seniors, you just need to seal the space and don't let the 3 of them escape. Yi Chunfeng said with a high fighting spirit. He had just comprehended the essence of the sword steps from Shui Hanyan. He couldn't wait to use the 3 assassins to train himself and kill them with his own hands. He brandished the Emperor's celestial sword, and every strike was like a sword mountain crashing down. The terrifying power completely countered the attacks of the 3 Umbra assassins, forcing them to retreat continuously. The three assassins' lightning-fast counterattacks were unable to pose a threat to Yi Chunfeng as he dodged them with his sword steps. As Yi Chunfeng's sword steps became faster and faster, he gradually comprehended the second stage of the sword steps, subtle realm. His unfathomable speed made the three assassins even more fearful. Sky Demon demonic ropes seal the space. When the three assassins couldn't withstand Yi Chunfeng's powerful attacks and wanted to retreat, 5 Sky Demon demonic ropes broke out of Yi Chunfeng's body and sealed the space. In the next moment, 4 Dao Intents burst out from Yi Chunfeng's body. They surged into the Emperor Sky's sword like a surging tide. The powerful sword aura caused the air to boil. 7 Swords of Judgment, Judgment. Yi Chunfeng held the sword with both hands and slashed with all his strength. A light sword that was like the Milky Way in the starry sky burst out, ripping apart the space and slashing towards the three assassins. Sensing the power of the ruling sword, the 3 shadow assassins' faces changed slightly as they smelled a strong sense of danger. They all used their most powerful killing moves to face the ruling sword that was overturning the void. Boom! The 4 killing moves clashed together, and the intense explosion shook the heavens and earth. The space distorted, and the space around the 4 of them turned blurry. It was as if the space had been torn apart. When the destructive power that swept through the sky became more and more intense, the 3 dark shadow assassins spat out blood and flew backwards in the destructive storm. A large number of cracks appeared on the low-grade Dao artifact battle armor they wore. After facing Yi Chunfeng's powerful attacks head-on, the 3 assassins were all injured. When Yi Chunfeng used his life soul technique, his explosive attack deeply shocked everyone present. Mobile reading website, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 8:14. Strong, Too Strong. The 3 most terrifying kings of assassins in Xingluo Sky City were actually suppressed by Yi Chunfeng. What kind of divine ability did Yi Chunfeng use to be so strong? Yeah, the divine ability he used is too overbearing. His current combat power has probably surpassed ours. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng sending the 3 assassins flying and displaying his terrifying strength, even Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng and the rest were deeply shocked. They could not imagine that the 3 most powerful assassins in Xingluo Sky City would be defeated by Yi Chunfeng. Star King, do you know Yi Chunfeng's background? Bai Feng took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart as he asked. He said he is a rogue cultivator without any sect. Kong Sungchen laughed bitterly. That's impossible. Bai Feng and Xingbue looked at each other and saw the shock and doubt in each other's eyes. King's Sword, Emperor's Celestial Sword. After the 3 assassins were sent flying, Yi Chunfeng followed up with his sword step. 4 great Dao Intents and a strength of 70 million Jin were completely unleashed. He continuously used the Emperor's Celestial Sword technique and slashed at them with the King's Sword. He was determined to kill the 3 assassins who had ambushed him. As Yi Chunfeng's attacks became more and more violent, the King's Sword and Emperor's Celestial Sword clashed with each other. The 3 assassins were under immense pressure. However, the 3 of them were all outstanding talents. Their strength had reached level 5 combat beast emperors. After the 3 of them transformed into their beast soul forms and increased their strength, they were still able to withstand the waves of attacks from Yi Chunfeng. The entire void was torn apart by their ferocious attacks. Dragon's Heart power burst. When the 3 assassins started to counterattack, Yi Chunfeng completely ignited his Dragon's Heart. The surging power of qi and blood instantly filled his entire body, increasing his strength once again. A dragon's roar that caused the heavens and earth to tremble could be heard. Yi Chunfeng instantly fused with the Ascendant Celestial Sword, causing void space to churn. As he fused with his Dao intent, He was like a meteor that fell to the ground and smashed towards a shadowy assassin that was thrusting towards him. Boom! In a head-on collision, surging Tao insights and energy madly surged into his body, shaking him to the point he spat out mouthfuls of blood repeatedly. Cracks appeared on the low-grade Tao artifact assassination sword in his hand, and the skin and flesh on his right arm were torn open to reveal ghastly white bones. Yi Chunfeng heavily injured a dark shadow assassin after using the man and weapon unity technique. He didn't give the assassin any chance to escape and closed in on him with the sword step. He continuously unleashed his Tao will and over 70 million points of strength, attacking with all his might. He was determined to kill the assassin. Buzz! While Yi Chunfeng was attacking with all his might, two other dark shadow assassins attacked from the left and right. The assassination swords in their hands were swallowing with exceptional killing light as they attacked Yi Chunfeng's body with lightning speed, wanting to interrupt his attacks. Yi Chunfeng didn't dodge or evade the attacks of the two. He allowed the exceptional killing light to strike his body that was comparable to a mid-grade Tao artifact. He then attacked the dark shadow assassin who was covered in blood and was retreating. Qi and blood combustion. His attacks were completely suppressed by Yi Chunfeng. The dark shadow assassin, who was in a perilous situation, burned his qi and blood combustion at all costs, increasing his strength to the greatest extent as he fought with his life on the line. However, Yi Chunfeng was determined to kill him. Destructive sword mountains slashed down ferociously, constantly destroying his physical body and aggravating his injuries. By the time Yi Chunfeng had slashed down 28 times, the dark shadow assassin's arms had been slashed apart by Yi Chunfeng, transforming them into two balls of bloody mist. Seeing that their comrade was in danger, the two dark shadow assassins went all out, their swords bursting with the power to extinguish all things as they stabbed at Yi Chunfeng's temple. Sword step. In this perilous moment, Yi Chunfeng used the sword step, his 100 swords attacking the two dark shadow assassins as he appeared behind the dark shadow assassin and unleashed a lethal attack. And this step of Yi Chunfeng's had the grace and speed of the subtle realm. Emperor's Heaven shocking slash. The invincible heavenly sword descended from the sky, fused with the Emperor's force, ruthlessly slashing down on the heavily injured dark shadow assassin's body, breaking through his defenses and splitting him in half from head to toe, completely killing him. Strong. Too strong. One of the kings of assassins of Xingluo Heaven City has been killed by Yi Chunfeng. I've heard that the dark shadow assassins have never failed before, but now they've been killed. This sort of accomplishment is enough to shock the entire Xingluo continent. I wonder if Sha Tianya will fly into a rage when he learns that the dark shadow assassin that used to intimidate the entire Xingluo continent has been killed. Seeing Yi Chunfeng kill the dark shadow assassin in such a domineering manner, everyone present felt their hearts pound in fear. Yi Chunfeng's domineering attitude was deeply imprinted in their mind. After killing one dark shadow assassin, the blood-drenched Yi Chunfeng roared. Taking advantage of the fact that his life energy had yet to fade, he launched a lethal attack at the other two dark shadow assassins, wanting to kill them both. Yi Chunfeng attacked at full speed. The two kings of assassins burned their blood essence to meet his attack. Just as the three of them were bathed in blood, a shocking killing light appeared, shattering the void as it pierced towards Yi Chunfeng. Sure enough, there's still someone hiding in the dark. Yi Chunfeng had not used the 9-dragon jade annulus because he was wary of a peerless expert hiding in the dark. 9-dragon jade annulus, exterminate. With a peerless killing intent, Yi Chunfeng continuously poured his soul force into the 9-dragon jade annulus. A ferocious dragon flew out from the 9-dragon jade annulus, stirring up the heavens and earth. It shattered the killing light and attacked a ghost-masked woman who had suddenly appeared. Feeling the terror of the 9-dragon jade annulus, the ghost-masked woman who had failed in her assassination attempt changed her moves again and again. While dodging, she attacked the attacking dragon. However, the The 9-dragon jade annulus was a supreme-grade sacred treasure. Although Yi Chunfeng could only exert 1 or 2 10,000ths of its power, it was still not something she could contend with. Just as her attack was completely shattered by the mighty dragon and she was on the verge of death, she threw out a huge stone inscription in front of her to block the attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus. Boom! Although the defensive power of the huge stone inscription was amazing, it still could not withstand the attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus and was shattered by the mighty dragon. And the destructive attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus once again shocked everyone present, making their souls tremble, and many people's bodies even started to tremble. Let's go! Using the moment when the huge stone inscription blocked the attack, the mysterious woman who had suddenly appeared decisively withdrew and broke out of the encirclement with the 2 dark shadow assassins. Where do you think you're going? Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, Xing Biue, and the others roared and tried their best to block them with powerful Taoist instruments and Taoist treasures. However, the strength of the mysterious woman who had suddenly appeared was too terrifying. Her methods were astonishing. Coupled with the shadowless assassination of the 2 shadow assassins, they quickly broke through the defensive line of Jiang Xingchen and the others who were heavily injured and exhausted. They broke through the encirclement. Seniors, don't chase after them. Although Yi Chunfeng was unwilling to give up, after using the 9-dragon jade annulus to attack, Yi Chunfeng's body was seriously weakened. In addition, the burning life force was beginning to fade. In desperation, he called out to Kong Sungchen and the others, allowing the mysterious woman to save the 2 dark shadow assassins and disappear into the horizon. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 8:15. Big Brother Chunfeng, are you all right? Sensing that Yi Chunfeng's body was extremely weak, the blood-covered spirit fish immediately rushed to his side, gently supporting him as he nervously asked. Relax. I'm fine. The pale-faced Yi Chunfeng forced out a smile and forced himself to say, Don't worry. Seniors, I'll leave the matter of cleaning up the mess to you. I'm going to treat my wounds. Yi Chunfeng's body was too weak. In order to avoid any more accidents, he immediately took the spirit fish, the sword puppet, the king of slaughter, and Fu Qingshan and left the Green Jade Palace. They found a relatively quiet place in the palace and laid down the 100-kill formation to treat their wounds. Although Yi Chunfeng had displayed his might in this battle, killing Green Robe, the Golden Lion King, and the King of Assassins of Xingluo Heaven City, Shui Hanyan and the Shadow Assassin had dealt extremely severe injuries to him. Moreover, he had burned 3,000 years of his lifespan, so he had no choice but to consume a fruit of life to recover. After consuming the second fruit of life, Yi Chunfeng only had 1 fruit of life left. But in this battle of life and death, Yi Chunfeng had also obtained many benefits. Not only had the Blood Dragon Emperor completely fused with Green Robe's soul beast, further increasing his strength, but Yi Chunfeng had also comprehended the true essence of the subtle realm, greatly increasing his speed. While Yi Chunfeng was treating his wounds, the Green Jade Palace was also in the process of rebuilding. Although the Green Jade Palace had suffered heavy losses in this battle, Xing Biue's 5 brilliant disciples and several of the most outstanding disciples of the Green Jade Palace had survived, and their foundation had not been shaken. This made Xing Biue even more grateful to Yi Chunfeng. Without Yi Chunfeng, the true demon race's inescapable net and experts would have wiped them out, and the hundreds of thousands of years of the Green Jade Palace's foundation would have been destroyed. 3 days later, Yi Chunfeng, who had basically recovered from his injuries and recovered his lifespan, came out of seclusion. Kong Sungchen, Xing Biue, and Bai Feng immediately rushed over to express their gratitude when they heard that he had come out of his closed-door training. Qingfeng, we owe you even more now. I really don't know how to repay you. Although Yi Chunfeng had returned to being a level 1 beast emperor, Kong Sungchen and the other two did not dare to underestimate him. They treated him as an expert of the same level. In particular, Yi Chunfeng's 2 trump cards, the Life Soul spell and the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus, gave them an indelible memory and shock. Seniors, you're too polite. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, however, after we resolve the crisis of the Xingluo continent, I do have a request. Chunfeng, what do you need us to do? Bai Feng asked. I would like the 3 of you to accompany me to propose a marriage. Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said. The reason why the Yu family was hostile towards Yi Chunfeng and did not agree to let Yu Nikhang marry him was because he had no power or influence. He could not bring any benefits to the Yu family. However, if Yi Chunfeng became the city lord of Xingluo Sky City and brought Kong Sungchen and the other 2 experts to the Yu family to propose a marriage, the situation would be different. Propose a marriage? Do you have someone in mind? Bai Feng revealed a disappointed expression and asked loudly. Yes, but her family does not accept me. Therefore, I would like the 3 of you to support me and propose a marriage together. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said. F***ck, which clan did you come from? They actually didn't accept you? Are they blind? Bai Feng immediately cursed. He could not imagine which family would be so blind as to reject such a peerless genius. When the matter in Xingluo continent is settled, I will tell the 3 of you in detail, Yi Chunfeng said. All right, as long as the 3 of us do not die, we will accompany you to propose a marriage, Kong Sungchen said in front of everyone. Seniors, actually, you don't have to be so pessimistic. Although the enemy's strength is far above ours, we still have a chance to turn the tide, Yi Chunfeng said slowly when he felt that Kong Sungchen and the other 2 experts were not confident. Sigh, although we have won this battle, the enemy's strength is far beyond our imagination. Xing Bua sighed softly and said, If I am not mistaken, the mysterious girl who appeared at the end and saved the 2 dark shadow assassins was most likely Lian Xing from Xingluo Sky City. From the terrifying battle prowess she displayed, she should have broken through to rank 6 combat beast emperor before us. Lian Xing, it's actually her. Yi Chunfeng's brows slightly twitched. He did not expect that the mysterious girl who was almost killed by the 9 dragons Jade Annulus was actually the 8 Slaughter War Emperor's lover, Lian Xing, who had fallen into Sha Tianya's embrace in the end. After this battle, I believe that the true demon tribe and Xingluo Sky City will recuperate for a period of time and will not take the initiative to attack again. And if the 3 seniors break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor during this period of time, and Patriarch Bai and Patriarch Jiang break through to rank 5 combat beast emperor, we will have a chance to turn the situation around, Yi Chunfeng said. Sigh, how difficult is it to break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor? Although I am only a hair's breadth away from breaking through, I have not been able to break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor even after spending close to 100 years, Bai Feng said with a soft sigh after hearing Yi Chunfeng's plan. However, Kong Sungchen's eyes lit up, because he knew that Yi Chunfeng had a pill recipe that could allow them to break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor in a short period of time. Senior Bai, Senior Xing, I will not hide it from you. I have an ancient pill recipe in my hands. The Extreme Emperor Dao pill written on it can allow you to break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor in a short period of time. And I have mentioned this matter to Senior Jiang before, asking him to help me gather the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill, Yi Chunfeng said frankly. Extreme Emperor Dao pill, you have the pill recipe to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill? Bai Feng and Xing Bua had also heard of the Extreme Emperor Dao pill before, so they knew of its heaven-defying medicinal efficacy. If Yi Chunfeng could concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill, they would indeed have a chance to break through to rank 6 combat beast emperor in a short period of time. Yes, but the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill are relatively rare, so it will not be easy to gather them all. So in order to gather them all, the 3 seniors might have to pay a price. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, "Don't worry about it, just leave the matter of gathering the spirit materials to us. Even if we have to turn the entire Xingluo continent upside down, we will definitely gather them all," Bai Feng promised as he patted his chest. "All right." Yi Chenfeng nodded and told Bai Feng and the others about the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill. "Oh right, 3 seniors, this junior would like to leave for a period of time. If the 3 seniors manage to gather the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill, just use your communication pearl to inform me. I will rush back as soon as possible." "Qingfeng, where are you going?" Kong Sungchen asked. "Xingluo Heavenly City." "Qingfeng, this is too dangerous. If the people of Xingluo Heavenly City expose you, you will lose your lives." Kong Sungchen and the others did not expect Yi Chenfeng to be so bold as to risk his life at this critical juncture and go to Xingluo Heavenly City, so they quickly advised. "Rest assured, seniors, we will not be reckless." Yi Chenfeng smiled and said, "Furthermore, I also want to use the cultivation resources of Xingluo Heavenly City to further improve myself." This. Kong Sungchen saw that Yi Chenfeng had already made up his mind, so he did not try to persuade him anymore. He solemnly said, "All right then, when you go to Xingluo Heavenly City, you must be extremely careful. Be careful of Sha Tianyao and Lian Xing. If the 2 of them join forces, they can easily wipe out the entire Xingluo continent. Here, this is a little something from the 3 of us, please accept it." Knowing that Yi Chenfeng's group of 4 was heading to the Starry Sky City, Jiang Xingchen and the other 2 were not stingy. They gave Yi Chenfeng's group of 4 a lot of spirit pills and treasures to protect themselves. "Seniors, please take care. We will be leaving now." After saying that, Yi Chenfeng and the others bid farewell to Kong Sungchen and the others and quietly left the Jasper Palace that was being rebuilt. However, they did not immediately leave for Xingluo Heavenly City. Instead, they followed the map in Fu Qingshan's hands and flew towards the Xingluo continent's greatest secret, the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 816. Chaotic Cloud Peak. We've finally found the place. Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 followed the directions of the map and flew for more than half a month. They arrived at a primitive mountain range where the mountains were connected and intersected with each other. Clouds and mist lingered around the mountain range all year round. Waterfalls and ancient trees covered the mountains. When looked at from afar, numerous lofty mountains pierced into the sky and threw the clouds into disorder, and it gave one an extremely strong visual impact. This place was precisely the chaotic cloud peak that the Starnet Imperial Tomb was located on the map. And there are people in the mountain range. As soon as Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 flew into the mountain range with complicated terrain, Yi Chenfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed the aura of people in the mountain range. He guessed that the location of the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum had already been exposed. The True Demon Tribe and the Xingluo Sky City had already sent people to monitor this place. Bypassing the several spies hidden in the mountain range, Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 followed the map and quickly flew into the depths of the chaotic cloud peak. As they went deeper, Yi Chenfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed many powerful heavenly beasts and restrictions in the depths of the chaotic cloud peak. Especially the ancient restrictions in the depths of the mountain range. Even Yi Chenfeng felt danger. Fortunately, Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 had the map to guide them. In addition to Yi Chenfeng's powerful soul spirit perception, they avoided all the dangers and carefully went deeper. Roughly a day later, Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 arrived at the deepest part of the chaotic cloud peak, according to the map. There were a large number of ancient offensive restrictions hidden in the space here. If one accidentally touched them, they would be attacked by the restrictions and killed. Everyone, follow me. After passing through these restrictions, we will arrive at the periphery of the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the map in his hand and controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate out and deduce a safe path. He led the King of Massacre and the other three and moved forward through the layers of restrictions. However, as they walked, the space in front of them was completely sealed by powerful restrictions, blocking Yi Chunfeng and the other three's path. Space-swallowing insect, it's up to you now. With a single thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the space-swallowing bug, a level 7 heavenly beast, and ordered it to devour the spatial restriction. It forcibly broke through a passageway and arrived at the end of the restricted space, where the spiritual qi was extremely dense. There, they saw the entrance to the Imperial Mausoleum sealed in a powerful restriction. Grooves. Looking at the 6 grooves on the gate of the Imperial Mausoleum, Yi Chunfeng knew that these were the 6 keyholes to open the Imperial Mausoleum of Xingluo. I wonder if the 9-dragon jade annulus can break through the entrance to Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the 9-dragon jade annulus. He was prepared to wait for the space swallower bug to break through the restrictions of the formation. Then, he would attack the entrance of the Imperial Star Mausoleum with the King of Massacre and the others, attempting to open it by force. Attack. About 2 hours later, the space swallower bugs broke through the restriction that sealed the entrance of the Imperial Mausoleum. Then, Yi Chunfeng and the other three, who were waiting solemnly, used their most powerful attacks to attack the dark door of the tomb. Boom boom boom. Under the attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus, the ancient mirror of moment and the other treasures, the black gate of the tomb exploded with deafening sounds. The terrifying power shook the space and caused many cracks to appear. However, under such a terrifying attack, the black gate of Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum did not move. It was not affected at all. It's so sturdy. Looking at the black gate that did not show any signs of damage, Yi Chunfeng was shocked. After the attack failed, Yi Chunfeng quickly sat outside the Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum. He recovered his almost depleted soul power and prepared to continue controlling the 9-dragon jade annulus. After about half a day, Yi Chunfeng recovered his soul power. He ordered the space swallower to swallow a huge hole in the restriction space and controlled the 9-dragon jade annulus to continue attacking. However, the gate of the Imperial Mausoleum was impregnable. No matter how Yi Chunfeng and the others attacked, they could not move it at all. After several attempts, Yi Chunfeng finally gave up. This Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum is indeed the tomb of the strongest person in the Xingluo continent, Star Emperor. Just the gate of the tomb is so sturdy. I really don't know what dangers lie inside. Yi Chunfeng looked at the impregnable gate and sighed softly. Chingfeng, I think this place is not bad. The spiritual qi is pure and very quiet. It's very suitable for cultivation. Why don't we cultivate here for a while? When our strength increases, we can try to attack this gate and see if we can break it open. Fu Qingshan suggested. Alright, then we will cultivate here for a few days. The internal strife of the Xingluo continent allowed Yi Chunfeng to see how terrifying the Xingluo heavenly city and true demon race were. If Yi Chunfeng wanted to face them head-on and become the city lord of the Xingluo heavenly city, he would need to increase his strength. If Yi Chunfeng could successfully break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm, he felt that with his strength, he should be able to control the first layer of the universe realm and enter it at will. At that time, with the universe realm as a life-saving trump card, even if his identity was exposed, Yi Chunfeng would not need to be afraid. Even if Xia Tianya and Lian Xing had heaven-defying methods, they would not be able to break through the defense of the universe realm. Shuihe, Third Uncle Fu, Ling these 3 great Tao pills are for you. Try to break through as soon as possible. Yi Chunfeng took out the 3 great Dao pills and gave them to the King of Massacre and the others. Great Dao pill. Looking at the milky white great Dao pill in his hand, which was filled with pill patterns and emitted a refreshing fragrance, Fu Qingshan revealed a look of pleasant surprise. After going through a series of bloody battles, Fu Qingshan's strength had increased by a lot. In such an excellent cultivation environment, he was confident that he could break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm with the help of the great Dao pill's medicinal power and Dao intent. Alright, we will go into seclusion for 3 months this time. After 3 months we will leave this place and head to the Xingluo Heavenly City. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng and the other 3 found a quiet place to cultivate outside the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum and began their 3-month seclusion. I wonder how much Demon Saint Cold Knight's Dao spirit can increase my strength to. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself as he took out the Dao spirit that was sealed with a large number of array patterns. Shui Hanyan was able to break through to the rank 6 combat beast emperor realm in such a short time. Other than fusing with a large amount of life force in the life forbidden zone, she should also have refined a Dao spirit. Therefore, Yi Chunfeng was confident that he could break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm with the help of Demon Saint Cold Knight's Dao spirit. Dao spirit refine. Yi Chunfeng undid the seal on the Dao spirit and cut a bloody wound on his chest. He pressed the Dao spirit that contained a large amount of energy into his body and controlled the death blaze to refine it. Boom! After being refined by the death blaze, the Dao spirit immediately erupted with boundless energy. Like a raging tide, it flowed through Yi Chunfeng's crisscrossing meridians and poured into every part of his body. The energy contained within the Dao spirit was extremely terrifying. However, Yi Chunfeng relied on his powerful true spirit body to withstand it. Demonic Qi. Demon Saint Cold Knight's Dao spirit indeed contains demonic Qi. When the Dao spirit was crazily releasing boundless energy, Yi Chunfeng felt the existence of demonic Qi. However, as the primal chaos divine wood grew, the demonic Qi contained within the Dao spirit was no longer a threat to him. Primal chaos divine wood devour. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng controlled the primal chaos divine wood to extend tens of thousands of 5-colored roots all over his body. They devoured the demonic Qi in his meridians and suppressed the Dao spirit's power. Following that, Yi Chunfeng increased the speed of his soul-devouring art to the peak. He crazily refined the energy released by the Dao spirit and broke through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm. Very quickly, more than 2 months had passed. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.